And I also want to mention, I apologize, I have a cold, so I might cough a bit and sneeze a bit. So thank you again for understanding that. So let me start. Welcome to Nespresso and Match Retail. You guys will become official Nespresso coffee advisors after this training, except you, Mike, you will become a merchandiser after this training. And as well as Mike, you can stay 1 hour late after me too, so I can show you Repsly and Float because your side of the platform is going to be a bit different than the others. Okay.
Okay, you bet.
So, welcome to Nespresso once again. The rules today, first of all, we're going to keep our cameras on, mics on mute. Raise your hand to speak, especially when I ask a question, just so I know the order of the person who raised their hands first. Not physically raise your hand, but there's going to be the button raise on Teams. Turn off any distractions, including your phones, and we'll take a coffee break each couple of hours. We'll see how it goes. All right. So let's quickly get to know each other because we are a lot in this call. So simply say your name, what region you'll be working at, and what coffee is your favorite. Who wants to start?
I'm here in BC in the Okanagan region, and favorite flavor salted caramel.
Salted caramel. All right. I'm gonna just name the people on my list one by one, okay? So let's start with Lori.
I also have a cold, so I don't sound the greatest. Um, I'm in, I'll be working in the Newmarket, Ontario one because I'm in Ontario, and my favorite coffee is just normal coffee with
Black
like
coffee.
black coffee with lots of sugar.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Lori. What about Jenny?
I'll be working in Edmonton, and my favorite coffee is French vanilla.
Okay, good. Thank you, Jenny. What about Riazat?
Hi everyone. I'll be working at Edmonton, Alberta, and my favorite coffee is like a good cup of Americano.
Okay, so an espresso that's elongated with a lot of water. That's good. Thank you, Riazat. Sorry. What about Tanapol?
Hi. So I will be at London, Ontario, and my favorite cup of coffee would be like mocha because I like coffee and cocoa. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, so a good mix of both. Very good. Thank you, Tanapol. What about Navdeep? Navdeep, sorry. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Hi everyone. I'm gonna be in Vancouver, BC, and I'm a decaf person.
So not a lot of caffeine for you.
No, I can't sleep at
Perfect.
night then.
Good. Okay, thank you, Navdeep. And Bilal?
I'm in Calgary, Alberta, and my favorite coffee is espresso.
Espresso, okay. A good simple shot of espresso. Thank you. And Rakesh?
Uh, I'm in Collingwood, Ontario, and I like macchiato.
Macchiato, perfect. And finally, Rihanna, thank you for joining. I know you just joined. Whenever you can, open your camera. We're just presenting ourselves so you can say what region you're from and what coffee is your favorite. Rihanna, do you hear me?
Sorry, give me 1 second.
Okay, go ahead. You don't need to open your camera right now. Like, just if you
Oh,
want. Yeah,
I think my favorite coffee would be like an iced coffee.
a nice coffee. Okay, perfect. And then whenever you can open your camera. Um, and to present myself as well, my name is Alik. It's been now almost 5 years I'm working with an espresso program, and I started off as an espresso coffee advisor. I used to do that throughout the weekends. I work in the around the Montreal region, so I used to handle the Saint Eustache store in our area. And basically, I used to handle also trainings part-time throughout the weekdays. Now I'm taking this job permanently, also full-time. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys need any extra documents, you guys are not too sure how to handle certain situations, please contact me. I'm here to help. So aside that, we're ready to start. Thank you very much for joining. Also, Rihanna, whenever you can, open your camera, as well as take notes throughout the training. For all of you too, like take as much notes, because I'm promising you guys it will help a lot for your first day of your shift, okay? So the agenda today, we'll review the history of Nespresso, Nespresso's trilogy, which makes us unique as a brand, sustainability, which is always in our DNA, sales techniques. I want to review the 3 tools we'll be using throughout our workdays, and finally, if we have time, we'll do a couple workshops. So starting off with the brand, I want to show you guys a little video to introduce Nespresso to you. Let me know if you can't hear the video. I'm starting right now. So what else? So what were the 3 main values in this video about Nespresso? Starting off with the first one. Yes, Navdeep.
I guess first one would be our help towards the farmer, like the people who grow the coffee.
Exactly, the people, right? So the people can be not only the farmers that cultivate our coffee beans, but as well as our clients. We don't have clients, we have consumers at Nespresso. That's why our boutiques are so different than any other store you've ever been. So it's really giving that full experience to clients when they're going into that store. Very good. Another thing. Now, Deep, I want also other people to participate. Thank you very much for your
Okay.
participation. Thought I'm gonna start picking people, and I don't like that. Or the things, yes, Raisat.
I'm not sure if it's just me, but I couldn't actually see the video. I don't know if were you
Oh,
presenting it?
yes, I was presenting it. It's
Yeah,
okay. Well, don't worry. We're reviewing the video together. But let me know next time. Like, as I said before, beginning of the video, let me know if you can't hear in the middle of the video. Beginning of it.
yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Raisat. Yes, Mike.
Sustainability.
Exactly. One of our brand's DNAs is sustainability. So while we're cultivating the highest quality coffee, is always making sure we're not destroying the environment. We're always eco-friendly first. And I technically gave the other answer, which is the quality of coffee. So Nespresso is known to take the most highest, expensive, time-consuming steps to get the best product at the end. Always. Okay. Thank you. Now let's review the history of Nespresso. So a couple of dates coming up. Again, try to take as much notes as you can. Starting off with Nestle as a brand. So our history begins in 1867 with the foundation of Anglo-Swiss Condensed Milk Company. In 1897, Nestle's founder, German-born pharmacist Henry Nestle, launches his farine lactée, which means flour with milk, in Vevey, Switzerland. And it combined cow's milk, wheat flour, and sugar. And Nestle develops for consumption by infants who cannot be breastfed to tackle high mortality rates. And around this time, he starts using the now iconic Nest logo. Canadians first saw the Nestle named on canned milk products imported from Europe in 1887. Manufacturing began in Canada in 1918 with the purchase of a small milk factory in Chesterville in Ontario. 4 years later, the company was incorporated as Nestle's Food Company of Canada Limited. The Nestle headquarters are located in Vevey, Switzerland, and we are currently the largest food and beverage company in the world, with over 335,000 employees across 197 countries. Okay, so why am I speaking about Nestle? I think one of you guys are questioning right now, I'm sure. Nestle is basically like the parent of Nespresso. So the reason why we have that connection with them, it was because it was a Nestle engineer that first invented the Nespresso machine as an espresso brand. And Nestle, they started with only milk products, so like milk powder products to be able to feed infants who couldn't be breastfed at that time. And now they're the biggest brand in food and industry in the world. So in usual cases, every row you enter in a grocery store, you will find so many Nestle products available in that row only. And imagine that times all the grocery stores in the world. It's crazy. And can anybody guess how many Nestle products are sold every single day across the globe?
Like
Navdeep.
Like millions?
Yes?
I don't know
Any,
exact number.
yeah? Good guess? Any extra guesses?
maybe like
Well, I think you're trying to talk, but you probably can't find the team's raise button. It's gonna be right next to people if you ever. But like, share your answer now. In the meanwhile, Bilal.
I would say billions.
So the answer, yes, Tanaful.
I was guessing like 5 million. But yeah.
So you guys are getting there. The answer is 1 billion products sold every single day across the globe. So it's crazy as a brand. And we are obviously very proud to be working with them because they are obviously the biggest brand in the world in food and in beverage industry. All right, let's move on to an espresso story. Eric Favre, which is the engineer at Nestle, he's also Swiss. He started with a brand. So his name is Eric Favre, I repeat again. So in the years 1975, he married an Italian named Anna Maria, who comes and settles in Switzerland. Anna Maria was used to mochas and espressos, but she's disheartened. To please his wife, Eric Favre decides to invest in a percolator. A percolator is a very traditional espresso coffee maker, but it's hell for him. Making good coffee easy with a percolator, it's very hard. You get your coffee everywhere, your dose is never the same, and the coffee flows unevenly. And it really irritates him. Being an engineer, he tells himself, I'm going to develop a system that's going to make very good Italian espressos very easily. So he starts imagining the first prototypes. He goes back to Italy, does a lot of researches, looks how baristas made their own types of coffees, espressos specifically. And that's when he comes up with the idea of the capsule. That was his solution, which is hermetically sealed to preserve the freshness of the coffee. That's so essential to the crema. The crema is the mousse you'll see on top of the coffee, and which provides the perfect dose of coffee and therefore consistent quality cup every single time. And that's how Nespresso was born. So it was really a love story. Since the very beginning, it's integrated in our brand. And a husband, Eric Favre, who was a Nestle engineer, he really wanted to create the perfect coffee machine for his wife. The big goal he had since the very beginning was to keep the quality of coffee consistent over time and easy to use. So to close all these problems he had, he created the capsules. And I want to mention for a vocabulary term as well, we use term capsules and not pods. Pods will be for Keurig. Okay. So 1986, Nespresso is developed. Nespresso is created with only 5 employees. The product is launched on a trial basis in Switzerland, Italy, and Japan, initially targeting the B2B market without success. B2B, it means business to business. And they're complete separate sector at Nespresso. We don't sell those machines. They're really sold in the B2B program at Nespresso. And they're really sold to big businesses. But at that time in 1986, it did not work quite well. There were 4 varieties of capsules. There was Voluto, Capriccio, Così, and Decaffeinato. These 4 capsules still exist, and they kept the same recipes. So imagine how loved they were from clients since the very beginning. And the machine looked like a classic percolator, but with the capsule holder to familiar the movement of the barista. So in each Nespresso machine, you will always have 2 containers. One will be for water, the other will be for capsules. So once you finish making a coffee, capsules automatically get ejected in the capsule container. And this on the screen is the first Nespresso logo. Can anybody guess what it resembles to? There's 2 stories behind this logo. Yes, Navdeep.
I may be mistaken, but I've heard that these are like a pair of heels.
Yes, you're right. So you can see there's 2 heels back to back. And it was also there to represent Anna Maria, who was Eric Favre's wife. Very good. Thank you, Navdeep. And Mike, did you want to share the same concept? Yeah. And the second image behind it is also coffee bean. So you guys can see clearly the oval itself is the bean itself, and then the middle of the bean is the middle of the N. So that's why every time you see the Nespresso logo written down, you have this N, which is like a wiggle in the middle as well. So 1991, Nespresso develops the first recycling solution in Switzerland. And you will get to see throughout the coming days, we will talk a lot about recycling and sustainability, which holds a very important and special place in Nespresso's heart. So 1996, after existing for 10 years, Nespresso returns to the B2B market segment by launching a range of dedicated machines. These machines, like I said, they're made for more of an intensive use. It's the launch of the professional range. So if ever a client comes and tells you, hey, I'm looking a machine for my business, then we have to lead that conversation to our manager, because manager gives to Nespresso directly. If there's a couple of restrictions that follow, of course. But these machines are really made for for it to be used back to back nonstop throughout the whole day. So let's say a company has so many employees, they're going to use one machine. It's a perfect machine for them. To give you an idea, one machine could cost up to $10,000, and they use complete separate capsules as well. Very important date, the creation of the AAA program. So during this era, coffee producers relied on quantity to generate income. The quantity of quality coffee that meets Nespresso's requirements, at that time it was only 1% of the world's production. It was not increasing. So with the growth of the brand, there would come at times when sufficient quantities of high quality coffee, it would no longer be available. So we created a virtuous approach to encourage coffee farmers to produce more and better quality coffee. This is the AAA program, which was developed in Costa Rica and was created with the partnership of NGO Rainforest Alliance. We'll take a look later on as well, what is the NGO Rainforest Alliance. And at that time, we were already integrating sustainable agricultural practices since they enabled us to improve the quality of coffee. Till now, we work hand in hand with farmers and agronomists. That also means the farmers that cultivate our coffee beans, that they're not Nespresso employees. They have their own farms, they do their own work, but Nespresso, they invest a lot in those farms to make sure they have all of the infrastructures necessary for them to be able to do not only a good job, but at the same time, it facilitates their role much more. So the big goal of AAA program is not only to have a high quality coffee over time, keep our product sustainable, and at the same time, take care of the farmers that cultivate our coffee beans. And we'll review a video later on as well about the AAA program, just after this slide, actually. Does anybody know who this handsome man is on the screen? Yes, Mike. Your mic is on mute, Mike. Yeah.
Sorry, George
George. And you know his last name?
Clooney.
George Clooney, exactly. So he's a very popular actor in Hollywood, and he is also the face of Nespresso. So in 2006, yes, Rihanna.
I'm not able to see what's being presented. I'm not sure why.
Try either to leave the call and come back, and if that doesn't work, if you have another laptop or like another screen, it would for sure help a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Being on the phone, I agree, like it does give you the difficulty sometimes. All right. So this is a key date because it triggers the explosion and the influence of the brand. The brand at that time, they were looking for an ambassador, and they launched a survey among their customers, mostly in France and Switzerland, to find out which personality best embodied the brand's values of elegance and sophistication. George Clooney was chosen by customers over other stars. Does anybody want to guess why he was chosen? Yes, Mike?
Is it because it's connection to Italy or?
Maybe, but not the
It is-
concrete answer I'm looking for.
Okay.
Yes, Lori.
It's George Clooney. Who doesn't want George Clooney as the cover? But
Yeah.
I think it's also like he has a good personality, like in real life, and it's like everybody loves like his work ethic and how he presents himself. So it could also do with his personality in himself.
Exactly. So it mirrored Nespresso's brand perfectly. Himself, he's a very elegant, sophisticated man. So who else would be better for Nespresso as a face for our brand? Okay. Rihanna, were you able to see the slides now? Yeah, it works
Yep,
perfect.
all good now.
Perfect. So if you ever walk in front of an espresso boutique, you will definitely get to see his face somewhere. And he also does very nice commercial videos for Nespresso. If you guys ever have a chance to, review, like it's pretty comical, the videos they made about coffee. Very recently as well, they did a campaign together. All right. So Nespresso arrived in Canada in 2009. We make our Canadian debut in Montreal with our first boutique on Crescent Street. That boutique officially closed, but now the Canadian head offices are also located in Montreal. All right. All of these dates till now, Nespresso only used Nespresso capsules. There were no other brands that were making their coffees for our machines. In 2010, it was the introduction of the first compatible capsules. So the patent we had, it expired, and it completely changed our ways of working and doing things. Even though we had only been on the Canadian market for over a year, it was a factor to consider in our sales pitch. And we recently figured out how to respond to compatible capsules by coming out with Starbucks by Nespresso in 2021, available in both ranges, original and virtual. We'll take a look later on once again, those capsules. But now basically other brands, they can make their coffees for our machines. Final date, 2014, the launch of the Positive Cup. So it's in line with our AAA program. To go further, the AAA was not enough. Nespresso launches a global sustainable development program. This program has 3 big goals. I'll let you guys know, you can write it down. First goal, 100% recycling capacity. So basically all our materials have to be recycled. Second goal, 100% of coffee sourced from the AAA program. And third goal, 100% carbon neutral coffee. So that produces no CO2. That means no pollution. So these are the final goals. Doesn't mean we reached those 100% now, but we're always taking steps forward to get to that 100%. We're getting there. It's close. Do we have any questions about the history of Nespresso? All right. Now let's move on to our AAA video. That's super important. I can say the video that's most important in this training. So please take as much notes as you can. This is what makes us unique as a brand. This program is not comparable to any other coffee brand. Okay? I'm going to start the video now. Let me know if you can't hear it. Is everybody able to hear the video? Yeah? Perfect. Okay. Now let's review the 3 pillars of the AAA program together. So what was the first pillar's name and what can you tell me about it? And I want other people to participate too. Thank you, Mike and Navdeep, for participating. Yes, Tanapo.
So there's a pillar about quality. So like we're working with the farmer and we like sourcing the coffee bean that fully ripe, and we have the quality checking to make sure that every supplies that we get like reach our standard with the aromas, essence, something like that.
So it's making sure we only cultivate the highest quality beans that meets Nespresso standards. Exactly what you said. So what Nespresso does, and I'm gonna give you really, even though I didn't say in the video, I want to give you the trajectory of the steps of what happens from the coffee bean to the capsule. Okay, is everybody ready? All right. So first step, they cultivate the beans when it's fully red and mature. That also means the 900 aromas of that bean is well developed, which gives the best taste of the bean. And at first, to give you an idea, it doesn't look like the coffee bean you have in mind. At first, it looks more of like a cherry, a fruit. And inside the fruit, there's going to be 2 pits that become the future coffee beans. So that also, don't forget, the beans are cultivated by hand. The farmers, they're not using any machinery. This is all done by hand. It's hand picking each bean one by one. It's a huge role to have. So the bean is cultivated, and then the fruit is separated from the beans itself. The fruit is composted, the rest of the fruit. And the 2 beans, which are the 2 pits of that fruit, are washed in natural water. They have to be soaked for the aromas to start getting out, to start developing more. And then it's sun-dried under the sun of that country. You also see how these steps are all done naturally. There's no mechanisms that do all these, or no extra chemicals. All this is natural, which is why all our coffees are also natural. And then when it's sun-dried under the sun of that country, and when I say under the sun of that country, because the countries we cultivate from, they're going to be always near the equator. Equator, what is it? It's going to be the middle of the world. So they're really humid, hot countries. They're perfect for a climate of coffee. So we have a couple of countries in South of America, in Africa, in India, Indonesia, etc. So yeah, and we have certain capsules that are made only from those countries as well. Specifically as limited editions, we have more rare countries where we rarely get access to those coffees as well. And then once it's sun-dried, there's going to be a very thin layer that surrounds the coffee bean. It's like a peanut, to give you like more of an idea. So that thin layer is removed. And then the final product is going to be a green color of the bean. These are the main steps that happen in the farms. And then finally, the beans are sent to Switzerland. 4 steps are done in general in Switzerland. First step is going to be decaffeination process. if it's applicable. Some of our capsules are decaffeinated, so if they're going to decaf it, they're going to do it at the first step. Decaffeination. Second step, the torrefaction, so roasting the beans, the roasting procedure, but you can call it torrefaction. Third step, grinding. So we don't put full beans into capsules. We have to grind them into powder size to be able to put it into capsules. Also, the grinding size makes a huge difference, and even the torrefaction temperature makes a huge difference. Like, to give you an idea of what happens, torrefaction, basically the roasting process, if they do it at a very high temperature, then it's gonna have more of an intense roasting profile. If they do it at a lighter temperature, it's gonna give more of a fruity, lighter note of the coffee. And then the grinding process, if they grind the coffee bean at a very thin size, so like more similar to flour, like wheat flour, then the molecules of the beans will enter in the water during the extraction very easily. So that also means it's going to have more of an intense taste. Usually our espresso capsules, they're used a very thin grinding. So they're thinly grinded. Or like, for example, a regular coffee, we usually do the grinding a bit of a bigger size. So more similar to size of sand. Then when that bean is going to be extracted in the machine, it's not going to have that ease to enter in the water, the molecules. So it's going to make the coffee less concentrated as well. And the final step is the encapsulation. Encapsulation is pretty self-explanatory. It's putting the coffee grains into capsules. Then they're finally sent off to all countries to be distributed for different boutiques and for the client's purchase. Okay. Now, anybody has any questions about these steps? I feel like it does give a big image into what would be a coffee bean to capsule. One big, huge argument I usually give to clients as well myself is there's more than 70 quality checks that are done between all these steps. More than 70 quality checks. I promise you, you won't find any other coffee brand that will have 70 quality checks. It's insane to make sure that each step is perfectly done with no defaults, no mistakes. That's why your capsules come always with the same taste, the same way you like it. Okay? Now, let's move on to the second pillar. What was the name and what can you tell me about it? Yes, Raisat.
It was sustainability, where coffee is cultivated in a sustainable fashion.
Exactly. So I kind of mentioned it already in the first pillar, but all our procedures are done naturally. So that also means Nespresso, they're going to invest money, they're going to invest infrastructures, they're going to do so to make sure each bean is cultivated and is produced in the best circumstances possible, not only for the quality, but for the environment. Then finally, the third pillar. Yes, Lori.
Productivity. Sorry, I'm literally, my throat hurts, so I can't really speak much. But
No worries. Does anybody want to develop productivity? Mike, I'm gonna give Rihanna a moment to participate as well.
I think it mentioned something about the quality premium paid and the co-finance projects.
Exactly. So the farmers are paid 30 to 40% more compared to other brands. That's honestly a good enough reason for the farmers to be able to sell it to Nespresso. They're gonna be paid a lot more for their coffee beans. And also co-financing. So like I said, like the infrastructures, any materials necessary, making sure the farmers have everything they need. You guys remember what was the rainforest certification? Yes.
Sorry, could you repeat, please? What did you say?
Yes. So do you guys remember what was the rainforest certification? No? So basically to explain in a very simple term, oh yes, Rihanna.
I think it mentioned something about that if the farmers were rainforest certified, they would get like compensated differently.
So basically it's very similar to what you said. Let's say at the end of the year, okay? The farmers produced a lot of coffee beans that Nespresso, they don't need all of that. They can sell those extra coffee beans to other brands. So they're going to make even more profit and there's no waste of any products. Who wouldn't love an espresso bean? All clean, all sustainable, high quality. There's even like any extra investments done with the farmers. For example, retirement plans planned for the farmers, or any community help to make sure not only they're living in a good state themselves, but their families as well. Or there's a lot of trainings to make sure not only they're respecting the environment, but of course the job is safe for them and they're doing a good job. So do you see how detailed the AAA program is? There's a lot of details that go into this program. Why do you think it's needed that we discuss this program to clients? Why is it important? It's not.
For our clients, it would be very helpful because number one, we're enhancing our brand image. We're telling them that we are the best in the market. So of course, it helps us boost our image, and then of course, our our sales would also go up, like in terms.
Exactly. For a lot of clients, they might not care, and that's very ignorant of them. But it's also important that we discuss it to all clients just because if a client really cares about the environment, they're going to be so impressed by this, and this is going to be the reason why they're going to buy the machine. So it really does help a lot. It really is a big argument in our speech that we should mention. Okay. This is also why we get our quality of coffee consistent over time. It's perfect, the production. Questions about the AAA program? We're all good? Okay. Now let's continue with the B Corp certification. So B Corp is a community of companies that commit to have a positive impact on the world for all different ways. So it could be the environment, the people who work for us, the communities involved, or even the business itself, or even the consumers. And B Corp is a benchmark that provides transparency. Through this benchmark, we measure our actions, highlighting our weaknesses and strengths. And it's a roadmap for continuous improvement and acceleration. For Nespresso, the certification reflects 30 years of involvement with sustainability. So it's basically Nespresso being accountable, knowing they can always improve, they're not perfect, and this is basically another stamp on Nespresso saying, you're an amazing company. So they work with so many other brands, B Corp. I don't know if you guys have seen it on other brands. Like I've seen it on She Moisture, on Lush. I've seen on cereal products. There's so many different brands that B Corp works with. And it's all about the accountability and always moving forward as a brand. So in Switzerland, we have 3 production centers where we transform our coffee beans into capsules. Now, a big brand like Nespresso, if they wanted to, they could have had hundreds of production centers all across the globe. But they only chose to leave 3 being Switzerland. Why do you guys think they did that? Yes, Riyasat.
I think to maintain a certain quality and
Exactly.
standard.
Exactly. Yeah. To precise our quality. So if we would have had hundreds of production centers, regulations would have changed easily. The production would have changed easily. The mechanisms would have changed easily. So that's why our coffee is known as a high luxury coffee bean wherever across the globe you go. It will taste the same. Let's say you love a good Melotio capsule here in Canada and you try the same Melotio capsule wherever across the globe, it will taste the same. Espresso is available in 82 markets around the world. So it also means 82 countries where Nespresso is available. And 14,000 collaborators. Collaborators are in term Nespresso, it's employees around the world. All right. Now let's move on to our coffee knowledge. So one of the main factors that makes our brand unique is our trilogy. Nespresso, and it sounds very, very simple, but Nespresso is the only coffee brand on earth that offers this trilogy. We are the only ones that offer coffee, machines, and a premium service to clients, uncomparable to any other coffee brand. So it makes our product unique. Now, knowing that, what do you think is needed to make a good cup of coffee? Yes, Rakesh.
Good coffee beans, a perfect barista,
The great coffee beans, the raw materials, very good. What else?
barista.
Barista meaning the person making the coffee?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
yeah, the person who make a coffee,
The
perfect
person.
coffee.
Okay, so you could call that the expertise. So knowing how to make a good cup of coffee, the knowledge. Very good. 2 more.
More.
Yes. Reset.
The equipment, I guess.
Equipment. Okay, so what specifically is the equipment for coffee?
Like maybe the machines or anything you're using to make the coffee.
Exactly, the machine itself. So if you would have had the best quality beans on earth, but your machine is not good, it doesn't have a good mechanism, it's going to taste more like water than coffee. And finally, specifically with Nespresso, what makes us unique as a brand? What was Eric Faur's solution? Yes, Mike.
The capsules.
The capsules, exactly. So first of all, the raw materials. So meaning the water and the coffee bean, the expertise. So everything for the expertise wise is done in Switzerland. The client doesn't need to be an expert with Nespresso to make a perfect coffee. Everything is done for the client. The capsules are ready. The machine is already perfectly made. So you just have to touch a button and everything is done. Compared to a lot of other brands, you have to make sure the grinding is perfect. The quantity of coffee you put is perfect. It doesn't do a mess. Your milk froth is perfect. It's a huge step to make a good espresso with other brands or regular coffee even. The flavor preservation, it's really obviously the ease of use, keeping the coffee fresh for years and years, even after the date of expiration. And of course, the facility. So the capsules are already made, click a button, everything is done. And finally, the machines. So like I said, the mechanism makes a huge difference in the taste. So at Nespresso, the promise we make to our clients is, of course, that the coffee is good, meaning that we master the elements we just mentioned, and above all, it's good over time. So consistency is key. So in general, in the world, there are 4 varieties of coffee beans that exist, but there's these 2 on the screen that are mostly used from coffee brands. Now, to give you the difference, imagine a big mountain, okay? Arabica is cultivated on the higher side of the altitude of the mountain. That also means since there's a lot less oxygen on the higher side of the altitude, that also means it's going to be less caffeinated. So it's 1% caffeine. Don't forget the temperature also affects it. The flavors, because of that, it's gonna be more fruity and the notes acidic. Because of that more difficult environment, Arabica coffee plant is more sensitive to many things. So it could be different diseases that could affect very easily, climate change, I don't know, like it's more of a fragile plant. So a lot could affect it very easily. But it's also known as the highest quality coffee bean. So if someone says, I love good quality coffee, they automatically mean Arabica coffee. And most of our capsules, they are going to be Arabica 100%. But Robusta, to give you a different point of view, Robusta is the lower side of the mountain, so it's 800 meters and low by altitude. Since there's more oxygen and the temperature here, it's going to be obviously more hot, then it's 2% caffeine with the flavors spicy and woody. And the best I can describe Robusta coffee, the notes, it's very bitter and body. So to give you like an example, imagine like 100% dark chocolate. That's what Robusta coffee is. Like if you drink a Robusta coffee, your teeth will probably become all black. Like it's super, super intense as a coffee type. If someone loves dark, dark, dark coffee, they're gonna love Robusta. I mean, it's a taste at the end, of course. So, we do offer some capsules that have a bit of Robusta mixed into them to give a more complex recipe of a capsule. So most of our capsules are 100% Arabica, but we do have a couple capsules with a bit of Robusta mixed into it for the people who love stronger coffee tastes. Now let's move on to the decaf procedure. So to give you an idea of what's a decaffeinated coffee, it's like a beer, but non-alcoholic. So it's drinking a coffee, but you're not going to get that caffeine effect. So it's not going to affect your nervous system. And that has to be done, of course, with a procedure before even you do the roasting process. Now, something I want to compare to other brands. Some clients, honestly, most clients who tell me I don't like decaf coffee is because they've tried other brand decaf coffees. And what other brands use to do the decaf procedure, they use the chemical called acetate d'ethyl. I don't know how to pronounce it in English, probably like acetate d'ethyl. But basically what this does, it completely changes the flavor of coffee. It's used from a lot of brands because it's cheaper to make it, and it takes a lot less time. Compared to Nespresso, they wanted to prioritize the taste and the quality, as always. And they wanted to keep the procedure 100% natural. So there's two methods to do our decaf procedure. First method will be liquid CO2. So you infuse the coffee beans in liquid CO2 for about 10 hours. And they're going to be removed after that, decaffeinated to 99.9%. The method that we use for a majority of our capsules is also called the Swiss method. What is a Swiss method? Is basically infusing coffee beans in water. I repeat again, in water for more than 13 hours. And then when you remove them, it's going to be decaffeinated to 99.9%. So why does this make different? I'm coming to your question, Navdeep. Because if you compare the same recipe of one decaf coffee, one caffeinated coffee, I promise you, you're not going to know the difference between two of them. It keeps the same exact flavor, aromas of a real caffeinated coffee. So sometimes I used to do a client a decaf coffee, and they take a sip. They're like, "You sure this is a decaf coffee?" Like they didn't believe me, and I'm like, "Yes, you can see the capsule. It has the red strip. It's written down decaffeinato. Like it's decaffeinated to 100%." And they didn't believe me, and just because it's made in the natural way, I used to explain it. And a lot of times, if they're a big fan of decaf coffee, like Navdeep, they would have bought the machine immediately just because of this procedure. Okay, I've sold machines just because the decaf coffee is fully natural. And also an argument too, let's say you're working in the afternoon, like after 3, 4 p.m. or 2 p.m. Sometimes clients told you, oh, I already took my caffeine for the day. I don't want another coffee. If you offer them a tasting, you could offer them a decaf coffee as an option. Deep, did you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to verify the liquid CO2 decaffeination is for like 10 hours, you said?
For a couple of our capsules, it's going to be basically 10 hours, yes.
Okay.
And the water decaffeination is 13 hours.
Okay, and we mostly use the Swiss method, right?
Swiss method, exactly.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, now let's move on to the coffee terms and ranges. So I want you guys to wait on writing down the virtual range because there's a couple of sizes missing, which I'll tell you guys by order you can write down after. You can write down the original for now. Okay? So, to give you an idea and how Nespresso came up as a brand, Eric Favre, like being a Swiss man in Europe himself, he first created an espresso machine for it to only make Italian espresso coffees. So the three sizes we have are Italian cultured coffees. I'll give you guys the definitions of what these terms are. You guys are ready? Okay. So ristretto in Italian, it means restricted. So it's an espresso that has been restricted with less water, but the same amount of coffee. So that also means it's going to have more of a concentrated taste, but the same amount of caffeine. So someone who tells you, let's say, like, I'm very busy throughout the whole day, and I like in the 2 in the afternoon, I want to take a small sip of coffee so I can wake up. A ristretto is one little sip of a coffee that's going to give you that caffeine boost you need. Then you have the espresso. Espresso is the basic Italian coffee. It's the most popular one, especially in Europe as well. So the original range is more known specifically over the ocean, meaning Europe, Asia, and Africa. We have like in North America, usually our most popular range will be the virtual range. But we do have a lot of clients that are mostly espresso drinkers, so you'd offer them the original range immediately. Okay, so espresso is the most basic. It's 40 milliliter, again, very short coffee. In Italian espresso, it means pressed. So inside the machine, what is the pressure? Like you get an intense speed with the water that's going to pour on the capsule with the crema each time. And I'll show you guys the mechanism in a more detailed way later on. And lungo in Italian, it means elongated. So it's an espresso, 40 milliliter espresso that has been elongated with more water and 20% more coffee. So when a client is buying a Lungo capsule on the original range, they will be paying a couple cents more if they're buying the Lungo capsule because they're automatically buying more coffee as well. So like I said, if someone tells you, I only drink espressos, the next question you'd ask them, do you have some people who drink coffee with you at your house? If they also drink only espressos, and if the machine is mostly for the family, you'd offer usually the original range because there's more than 35 options of flavors of capsules for the original range specifically. So that means 35 choices and more only for espresso-based coffees, which is a good variety for espresso drinkers. Then we have the virtual. So let me put up the different terms, but give me a second. I'm going to give you guys the terms one by one. So virtuo starts off with ristretto. Ristretto, it's a 25 milliliter once again for the virtual range. So I can give like a little line here. So ristretto. And then you have the espresso, like the same thing of the original range. Double espresso, pretty self-explanatory. A double quantity of coffee, double quantity of water. And then you have the Grand Longo, which is like the Longo on the original range, but bigger. So 150 milliliters and more coffee as well inside the capsule. Then the regular coffee. So it's what usually Canadians love. It's a big black mug of coffee. No milk, no sugar. So a lot more coffee inside the capsule and more water, obviously. Then you have another term added in between regular coffee and carafe. The term is called alto, A-L-T-O, and it's a coffee of 355 milliliters. What is an alto size? It's basically like a big travel size mug. So let's say someone who takes their coffee with them at work, they want a bigger size mug, this is the perfect option for them. And then you have the carafe, which is our final size. Carafe is one huge capsule that will do automatically 2 or 3 different regular coffee sizes at once with one touch of a button. So let's say they're a couple, the client, and they always drink their coffees in the morning together. If the carafe option is available inside the machine, I'd offer them that machine as an option because it does save a lot of money as well throughout time. To give you an idea, one carafe capsule would cost $1.60 compared to a regular coffee capsule would cost $1.29. So imagine if you make 2 copies of regular coffees, use 2 different capsules, do 129 times 2, unless you use one carafe, which is going to be 160, which does save a lot of money throughout time. Do we have any questions about the terms?
Could you repeat the graph again, please? 2 or 3 different.
It's so basically divided into 2 true regular coffee sizes. So a little thing I want to add for this, some clients ask me sometimes, oh, hey, like once I'm pouring the carafe, can I not use a carafe and just switch up the cups while the coffee's pouring? The answer would be no, because when the first coffee's pouring, it's going to be a lot more concentrated than the last cup. So it's preferable you add it in one carafe, 535 milliliters, and then you take it, you divide it into 2 regular coffee sizes. Yes, Mike.
Is there quite a few choices for the carafe as far as flavors?
There's around, last time I checked, 3, but it's also always changing. What I'd suggest you is go on the Nespresso site and like review the capsule sizes. I'd even suggest you putting the Nespresso application on your phone. It does help with to get notifications, any extra things like limited editions. Even though we give you the update ourselves as well, it's gonna be good to know to get an idea of how to explain to client, description more, etc. But you'll even have the work iPad available in your Canadian Tires, which you'll use for any Nespresso research as well. So now let's do an example. Let's say I'm a client. I tell you I only drink regular coffees, but my husband at home goes for regular coffees. What range would you offer me? That's tenable.
I think maybe a carafe because both of you drink regular coffee and it's much safer, like cheaper to go with a carafe, I guess.
So I just want to, I guess, change, like maybe correct the term. Um, range, when I say the range is going to be either original or virtual. Because when, let's say I tell you I drink a regular coffee, but my husband goes for espressos, espresso is a complete different taste and a complete different coffee compared to regular coffee. So like carafe is two big regular coffee sizes, which taste like the best way I could describe like a filtered black coffee, but it's not filtered. Okay, so either original or virtual. So I think since you said carafe, what range would you offer me, Tanapul?
Virtual.
Exactly. So you'd probably offer virtual because it does offer regular coffee and espresso. Exactly. Another test. Let's say I tell you I only drink longo sized coffees. I'm a client who's never seen Nespresso, who's never heard Nespresso. Yes, deep.
I will offer them the original range.
Why would you offer the original range?
Oh, I would because if they have never, like you mentioned, never heard of the Nespresso ranges, it would be pretty easy for them to understand about it, and if they drink Lungo, that's like the best option there.
Okay. So yes, it's correct. You would offer the original, but something I want to add, you could also offer the virtual range. Because if you would have asked me, oh, does anybody at your home drink coffees with you? And someone at home goes for regular coffees every single day, then that would have been a different case. You would have offered the virtual. So always the questions you offer to clients, the open-ended questions makes a huge difference between the range you'd offer them. Okay, so if I had no experience whatsoever and I tell you I take elongated coffees, it might also be a Grand Longo, right? And like might be a Grand Longo, but you could stop it at 110 milliliters if you want. So it's really depending on the coffee type. Like you have to ask always more questions. Okay, like this is just a test to let you guys know how much of a difference can make a question. All right. Now let's move forward with the original range capsules. So from first look here, the capsules, they don't change sizes. So original capsules will have like a cylinder shape and they don't change size even though there's more or less coffee inside the capsule. Okay, now I don't want to go into one by one the capsules we have because there's going to be a lot of them and you guys won't retain all of them, which is completely understandable. Something I want to tell you guys, in person you will have one menu, one original range of the permanent edition capsules, and on the back of them you will have the virtual range capsules, the permanent edition. So every conversation you have, show them this menu. It's a huge argument as well. You tell them, look at the options. Just buying this machine, you will have all of these options and more online and in the boutique itself with limited editions that come and go throughout the year. Okay, so now, original, I also want to say there's also an intensity scale. So original goes up to 14 on the scale. So let's say an intensity 14 on 14, it would be the strongest coffee we have ever. Compared to an intensity 4 on 14, it would be one of the lightest coffees we have. So I want to offer you guys the categories we can offer to clients. Starting off the original collection, these 4 capsules are the first ever that Nespresso ever created. So there's Capriccio, Voluto Così, and Voluto Decaffeinato. And a little example here, we have the voluto decaffeinato here, and we have the voluto regular here. So voluto decaffeinato is going to have a red strip around the capsule, which also means it's decaffeinated. Every time you have the red strip around the capsule, it means it's decaffeinated. And the title finishes also by the word decaffeinato. And usually, which sometimes there are exceptions, if you look on the bottom part of the aluminum, like the bottom of the capsule, you will have the name of the capsule written down as well. Now, let's continue with Ispirazione Italiana. These are all Italian capsules. Again, doesn't mean we cultivate from those countries, but it represents their coffee culture. So let's say this one right here specifically, Napoli, it's going to be the strongest capsule we have ever at Nespresso. And there are exceptions, but the color of the capsule represents mostly the intensity of coffee. So let's say Casar or Ristretto, they're going to be some of our strongest capsules at Nespresso. Let's say Voluto, it's going to have yellow color. That means it's more of an intensity 4 on 14. Some of our lightest capsules. But there are exceptions. That's why, like, I didn't mention at first, but I'd suggest, like, with your experience, you always have to check what are the intensities so you can offer to clients that way. A little other example, decaffeinato once here, these two. And then the world explorations. These are all different cities we offer coffees from. Again, doesn't mean we cultivate from those cities. So we have Rio de Janeiro, Istanbul, Paris, and Miami. And these 6 capsules, they finish with the word longo. What does it have more?
In Longo, we have more water and 20% more coffee.
Exactly. That's why when the client is buying that capsule, you will get more coffee. That means it's also going to be a couple cents more. I want other people who didn't participate to participate in the next coming questions as well. And then the origins of regular coffee. So these are really the countries we cultivate from. So we have coffees from India, Indonesia, Colombia, Nicaragua, Ethiopia, and Peru, which is an organic capsule. And then the reviving origins. These are all countries that mostly are limited editions. They do come and go throughout the year. But basically, Nespresso they've decided to create farms in those countries where they were almost going to lose their coffee cultures throughout time for many different reasons, for natural disasters, diseases. The production centers was not the productions were not quite well for a couple of years, so the coffee was affected a lot, etc. So ourselves here in Canada, we can drink a coffee if you want from Uganda, Colombia, Zimbabwe, Congo, and Cuba, which is more of a different flavor, their culture, different coffee. And then we have the different barista creations. So these are usually milk coffees. Never, I want to mention, never in our capsules you will find milk or sugar. Our coffees are always black. People think, for example, the crema is milk froth, but it's not. It's black coffee. But I'll explain later on what is the crema. So thinking of a caramel coffee, you would think it's going to be a very sugary type of coffee, but it's actually a black kind of coffee with a very light caramel aroma. Some of, I think, Mike's favorites was it. So what do we do as a flavored coffees? Usually you have to ask the client, but you have to add a base of milk on the bottom of the cup and then pour the coffee. they obviously can drink milk or they want milk. Because it makes the crema even thicker when it pours. And how do we make flavored coffees? So let's say an example, a hazelnut coffee. Grilled hazelnut, which is the name. You would think we extracted from a real hazelnut, right? In reality, we extract the aromas from a plant that resembles the taste of a hazelnut. So we extract oxygen bubbles and then we infuse them in the coffee after the torrefaction, after the roasting process. It gives a very light aroma of hazelnut. That also means our coffees are with no allergens. So someone who's allergic to hazelnut, they can still drink hazelnut coffee. It's also very important, even though our coffees now, they're with no allergens, every new capsule limited editions, you check if it's no allergens as well, just in case. Okay, and then we have these three first capsules. These are the milk-based coffees. Again, no milk inside the capsules, but it balances with the intensity of milk perfectly in the cup. The aromas are made to be mixed with milk. And then we have the iced coffee options. These are really coffees that have to be poured on ice. Coffees are never extracted cold. So when you're extracting the coffee, you have to extract it on a cup of ice, and that will balance the intensity of the ice that's going to melt in your coffee and the acidity of the coffee perfectly. And finally, special reserves and limited editions that are more seasonal aromas and seasonal flavors. Exciting flavors that came up. There was one capsule, like from the top of my head, cinnamon coffee. There was ginger for like the holiday seasons. There was gingerbread. There was peppermint wheel. There was almond and vanilla, I think. Like different holiday season flavors, which is super nice for clients who love flavored aromas as well. Limited editions cost a bit more, usually, because it's more limited edition. Yes, Rihanna.
And so how would they get like the aroma for something that's like gingerbread flavored?
So again, it's usually natural plants that we extract those aromas from always. So our coffees are fully natural. There's no chemicals, never. And it's a great question, honestly. Like the technicality, like from what exact plants they extracted it from, I'm not too sure. But yeah, I just know that it's fully flavored from natural plants. Then the virtual capsules. First look, the capsules here change sizes. The bigger the capsule it is, the more coffee you're going to get inside the capsule, the more you're going to pay because you're getting more coffee too. So specifically for the virtual range, the size of the coffees also goes with the categories. So let's say we have the espressos here. We have the double espressos here. Origins. And specifically for the virtual range, the color of the capsule represents the intensity mostly. There's not a lot of exceptions for the virtual range. And the intensity for virtual goes up to 11. It doesn't go up to 14. Well, regular coffees, we even have a half caffeinated coffee, Grand Longo capsules, the origins, Alto capsules and Ristretto capsules are missing here, but it's going to be in your permanent menu in person. Origins, burst decorations, carafes, iced coffees, etc. Okay? And also something I can tell you guys, in person you will have these little pamphlets on your kiosks. Once a client buys a machine, you just take one of these and you slide it in the machine, like as the first cover. And once they take from the handle, this will be integrated inside the box. Inside, they will have the permanent edition capsules, like as a menu as well. So let's say an example, you have the colors of the capsule, the titles, a little description underneath, the aromas used, the intensity on the scale of 11, and 14 for the original, and then for the virtual goes up to 11. Okay, there's for the virtual range more than 38 options. I apologize, 38 options. And more of, obviously always more, because limited editions don't count into that. And there is always limited editions. So now, you'll also have, just to let you know, some of these pumpkin spice cake flavors. If you ever are missing, because it's more of a fall season capsule, if you're ever missing some of these capsules, let your manager know. You can't order it through NDT. So your manager will let Nespresso's RSM know for them to be able to order it for us. And the same thing for the Togetherness blend, the Samra Origin coffee. This is a coffee that's approved from The Weeknd, the singer, the Canadian singer. So he was the one that approved this capsule, which is more of a citrusy and honey note. It's a double espresso coffee. So to give you an idea of the prices per capsule, original capsules, they start at 78 cents per capsule, and they go up to $1.10. Limited editions can be more, and these are all per capsule. So capsules always come, in usual cases, boxes of 10 in one flavor. What we call boxes, it's sleeves. So sleeves of 10. When a person is buying one capsule, it will be automatically in a box of 10. They can do one mix of different capsules. And for the virtual range, it starts at 88 cents for a ristretto, which is one option. But in usual cases, it'll be 99 cents for an espresso. And they go up to $1.60 for a carafe, like I mentioned before. Okay. Any questions about the coffee? Let you know as well, we won't have in our Canadian Tires and Walmarts Nespresso capsules available for clients. So in our stores, we will have only Starbucks by Nespresso capsules. But with your first, when the client decides to buy a machine, with their first purchase, you will be able to order coffees, Nespresso coffees for the person by creating an espresso account for them, and as well as facilitating their lives for them to have less stress when they go home. Everything is done for the person. I'll show you guys how to use Tap later on as well. So the Starbucks capsules. Nestle, Nespresso, and Starbucks are two independent operating entities. Nestle acquired the right to produce and sell Starbucks coffee products outside Starbucks coffee houses. The Starbucks by Nespresso capsules is one of the products covered under this agreement. The Starbucks by Nespresso capsules are compatible with the Nespresso. With the Nespresso original and virtual machines. So these capsules are sold in various grocery stores and retailers across Canada, including Canadian Tires and Walmarts, which we will be working at. usually big grocery stores will have these as well for clients. It's a great option for the person if they don't want to go at an espresso boutique or order it online or to the boutique directly. They can get one of these capsules at a grocery store. And the Starbucks by Nespresso coffees are roasted according to the Starbucks signature taste specifications and manufactured by Nespresso. That means the capsule shape aluminum is made from Nespresso that go inside our Nespresso machines, but the coffee inside is Starbucks blend. There's 3 roasting profiles for Starbucks. There's a blonde, medium, and dark roast. So a good variety for all clients. Yes, Mike.
So are these done in Switzerland or no?
We will have these available in our stores. That was your question?
No, are these Starbucks ones also done in Switzerland or are these done in
Oh,
North
yes,
America?
yes.
These,
They're done
yeah,
in Switzerland. Yeah.
okay.
Sorry, I didn't understand. I was busy. We need my nose up. Oh, okay. So basically, these capsules also. Oh, something I forgot. Nespresso capsules, the Alto and Carafe capsules come in boxes of 7, not 10. Because the capsules are going to be much more big, so they wanted to keep the same shape of the box, the sleeve. So that's why they made 7. But these Starbucks capsules, in usual cases, they will come in a box of 10, but specifically for the regular coffee size, and you don't have all the sizes available. It'll be for the Virtuo specifically, espresso to regular coffee. And regular coffees come in boxes of 8. And to give you an idea of the price range, like I said, Virtuo Nespresso capsules are $1.29 for regular coffee. Compared to Starbucks, it'll be $1.49. So there's a good 20-cent difference. Okay. Now let's move forward with our machines, starting off with the original range. So I'm going to talk about the system of extractions for both machines. So our extraction name for the original range is called 19 bars of pressure. Super, super important. Write it down. So the original and professional ranges from B2B uses a 19 bar high pressure extraction system, just like traditional Italian espresso machines. Thanks to this technology, each coffee is covered by thick, smooth crema that preserves the notes and flavors of each coffee capsule. 19 bars pressure is not any kind of pressure. It's the highest pressure any espresso machine will have. You can't go higher than this. You will have other machines that make espressos that are sold in your Canadian Tires and Walmarts. If you check the mechanisms of what they use, in usual cases, the average will be 15 bars of pressure. They go sometimes up to 16 bars of pressure. 19 bars is very rare to find. It's really used with the biggest, highest quality machines on earth. So it really does compare to the best machines in the world. Our machines don't cost $2,000. They cost $230 something dollars, so depending on the machine you get. Okay? So to give you also another idea, firefighter. Sorry, I got cut off. It's insane amount of technology. Yes, Navdeep.
Oh, we just couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I think it cut off my internet. I don't know what's happening today, but yeah, I was just saying it's intense amount of technology, basically. So now I'm going to show you guys a video to show you what's the 19 bars of pressure. So basically, there's going to be an intense amount of speed with the water that's going to basically heat up inside the machine and extracted on the cup. You're going to put underneath the machine with the crema every single time, and that makes the coffee consistent over time as well. Yes, Navdeep.
Question. Like, what's the time to preheat the machine? Like, how long it takes to heat and then give the coffee, brew the coffee.
So usually with the first coffee you do throughout the day, it takes about 30 seconds to heat up the machine. It starts like blinking the two buttons, and then when the button stops blinking, it's just the color like of a white flash. You click on the button and that's it. So with the original range, you will have two buttons, specifically with the machine we have in our Canadian Tire and Walmart. So you will have an espresso size and a lungo size on the machine. You don't have any ristretto buttons on the machine, but you can still do a ristretto manually. So you'd have to click on espresso, let's say, the coffee starts pouring, and then you click on the same button to stop at 25 milliliters instead of it letting it pour to 40 milliliters. So you can always stop the coffee whenever you want for it to stop extracting. And if you want, let's say, more coffee or more water elongated, then you can just re-click on the same button and it'll start pouring again. Um, I'm just thinking if I said everything. So yeah, basically when you talk about it to a client, you have to say 19 bars of pressure is the best pressure system any espresso machine will have. And you're getting your machine at not even $250. You have to talk about this pressure system. Okay. And to explain what is the crema on the coffee. The crema is not milk froth, is not any extra chemicals added. It's oil of coffee. So a coffee bean is a very oily bean. So when you're extracting it at a very high pressure, simple science, oil and water doesn't mix quite well. That's why oil stays on top of that coffee size in your cup. And that becomes the crema. That crema obtains 40% of the flavor of coffee. It's the most intense part of your coffee. Compared to other ranges, or other brands, since you don't get that crema, that iconic crema at Nespresso, you automatically reduce your taste by 40%. So you're going to get a lot of that taste from the crema itself. If you've seen an espresso coffee, like the crema is uncomparable to any other brands. It's really oil that's going to be extracted from the machine. Now let's move forward with the machines. So we have a lot of machines available in Nespresso directly, but in our Canadian Tires and Walmart, we will have only one machine available for clients. So to give you an idea of what other machines we also have, just in case a client comes and tells you, hey, I have an Inicia machine, what would be the difference between the others, right? You would always want to know. So compact options, Inicia first, we used to have them before in our trade locations, but it got discontinued because it's made with plastic. And a lot of clients, when they wanted an original machine, they preferred the metal version a lot more than the plastic, which is why it got discontinued. And then the Essenza Mini is the smallest, most compact machine we have at Nespresso, around 2 kilos. C is the machine we have in our Canadian Tires and Walmarts and our trade locations. So let me tell you the arguments of how you would present a Pixie machine. Starting off, the machine is very compact. So it fits in all areas. It's around 3 kilos. So it's perfect for, let's say, a small kitchen or a small office, a chalet, a truck driver who wants to bring a small compact machine with them, a big traveler who wants to bring a compact machine with them in their suitcase. So it's super, super compact as a machine. And it has a very nice metal look to it, so it's industrial looking. The outside is metal and the interior mechanism is also made with metal. It has two sizes, so espresso 40 milliliters, lungo 110 milliliters. The water container will be 700 milliliters. And the capsule container is hidden inside the machine. So where you put your cup here, like the base of the machine, you just have to pull it and it opens. The capsule container takes around 8 capsules. You can also fold the cup holder. So let's say if you were to do a regular size coffee, just fold the cup holder like up and put the regular coffee cup directly on your kitchen counter, on the table itself. Obviously 19 bars of pressure you can explain too. And this machine costs $229.99, if I'm not mistaken. Navdeep.
All of our machines, like all of these machines, have 19 bars pressure.
Exactly. Yeah, so the original range all uses 19 bars pressure. Okay. And then the full size options. So Cities will be the bigger version of Pixie. So bigger water container, bigger capsule container. And the Essenza Plus is going to be like the Essenza Mini, but bigger. Same thing. Then you have the Latissima category. This category is specifically made for coffee lovers who want milk coffees every single day. So it saves a lot of time because there's a full milk container integrated inside the machine. So with one touch of a button, you can click cappuccino. It will give you a cappuccino automatically. Or latte, macchiato, etc. And finally, Caratista. Well, Caratista is going to be a super luxurious looking machine for the same amount of quality coffee you would get with a Pixie. So it's around $1,000 for the look itself. Like someone has this, you probably have to remove your shoes before entering their house. Like it's much more of an elegant, expensive looking machine for the same quality coffee. So what machine will we be having in our Canadian Tires? And Walmart's. Yes, Navdeep.
We have Pixie.
Pixie. And what are some of the arguments you have to mention to a client?
We can mention that it's super convenient. Oh, it's super convenient. It's metal based. We can brew any cup size of coffee. We can remove the cup holder. We can, have a bigger cup size coffee as on there, and it can hold up to 8 coffee capsules, etc. Like the I forgot
8
the
coffee
word.
sizes?
Sorry.
8 coffee sizes, you said?
No, like it can the like when you keep a capsule as and the
Oh, okay,
machine
okay.
can
Capsule container. Capsule container.
yeah
Sorry.
capsule container.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, exactly. And it does only two sizes of coffee. So it does espresso and lungo. It's really the button you choose on the machine that will give you the size you want. And you can always stop. Let's say you forgot to add a cup inside. I can't speak today. Um, let's say you forgot to add a cup underneath your machine, and let's say you click on the button, the coffee starts pouring. You just click on the button and it stops. I never knew that before. It took me some time to know that, so I had to clean a lot of coffee on my counter sometimes when I was busy and I forgot cups. So just click on the button and it stops making coffee. Yeah. Now let's move on to the virtual range. So virtual started a lot later as a range, and it was really a range developed from our research and development team at Nespresso. So that means it's unique to our brand, this technology. And it started in 2014, so much later, obviously, and it was really launched, developed for North America, and now it's worldwide. Let me show you this video. Write down the name of the technology on your paper, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so basically, what's the name of the technology? Who can tell me? Yes, Riyazat.
Centrifusion.
Exactly, centrifusion. Now, what is centrifusion? When you put a capsule inside the machine, with the barcode of the capsule, you will automatically have the size and everything ready for you to make the perfect size of coffee without you even clicking the button that you want. Everything is done for you. Okay? So, Virtual is the result of 10 years of research and development. And the idea at first was just to create a coffee machine that better optimized coffee extraction. And during their many tests, the team tested the centrifugal force. They realized they also got that crema, like with the pressure system, but the flavor extraction was actually better, and especially they could get that crema with even larger volumes of water. And this is how the Virtuo was born. So with its infinite possibilities, Virtuo adapts to every taste at the touch of a button. It's the perfect coffee machine for coffee lovers who want that high quality coffee, but in a wide variety of styles and sizes. Now, what is centrifusion? So, if you look at the capsules, the virtual capsules will have a barcode around the capsule. So these black lines are barcodes, and they will determine the 5 settings for the perfect extraction every single time. These are the 5 settings. Starting off with the cup size. Let's say you put an espresso capsule, it will automatically give you 40 milliliters of coffee. Let's say you put a regular coffee capsule, it will give you how many milliliters? Ready? What's a regular coffee capsule size? And look at your notes as well. You don't remember? If not, Rakesh, what's a regular coffee size? No? Okay. Navdeep,
It's 230 ml.
230 ml. Exactly. And what's a carafe capsule? Yes, Riyazat?
535 ml.
Exactly. So it's really depending on the size you're going to get, the perfect size of coffee every single time. The temperature. The temperature varies from 83. Wait, Bilal, are you here? Slide is some of the most important slides to understand the virtual technology.
Yeah, I just went to get water.
Okay, no problem. So temperature is really going to be the in between 83 and 87 degrees. So it's not a temperature that's going to be boiling hot, but it's hot enough. That's called obviously a hot coffee. But when the coffee is done, the client doesn't have to blow on the coffee till it's a drinkable temperature. They can immediately start drinking it. And it does vary from a capsule to another. Let's say you put a capsule that has been already torrefied, that means roasted, at a very high temperature in Switzerland. And if you extract it again at a very high temperature inside the machine, it might burn the coffee. So they don't want to reach that burning point. That's why they lower the temperature in the machine immediately. Compared to a coffee that's roasted at a lower temperature, we can make it a bit more hot inside the machine during the extraction. So that's why it's going to be even more hot. So you will have clients sometimes telling you, so why do some of my capsules have a lighter temperature compared to others? You can tell them this. The machine is intelligent. Everything is done and thought for you. Infusion time. The infusion time is going to take the time to make a coffee. So let's say an espresso would take around 40 seconds. Compared to a carafe, it would take a minute and 40 seconds around. Flow is the speed you're going to get with the water. The faster it flows, the less intense the coffee is going to be. The slower it absorbs that capsule, the more intense the coffee is going to be. And then who caught the rotational speed? Bilal, do you remember? From the video? Oh, really? Yes, Mike.
7,000 RPM.
Exactly. 7,000 rotations per minute. It's incredible speed. Your cars go up to 5,000 rotations per minute, usually. It's going to be the fastest thing you ever own. It's going to be on your kitchen counter. Okay? So because of the centrifugation and that high speed, so to explain what happens in the machine, let's say you put a capsule, you close, you lock, you put a cup, you click on the button. The machine starts rotating the capsule 7,000 rotations per minute to read the barcode, to know exactly what to do. Then the rotation stops for a second. It starts rotating once again while extracting water from the water container, heating it up inside the machine with extreme amount of pressure once again. Plus, a centrifusion. So not only you're getting that pressure, plus a centrifusion with a capsule that's going to rotate inside the machine, it's going to pour that water, that hot water coffee with an even thicker crema than the original range. And then when the coffee stops, it stops the rotation 1 second, one more, and then it re-spins one last time to dry the capsule. So when you're finally reopening the machine to for the capsule to be ejected in the capsule container, the old capsules are dry. So that also means it doesn't give a bad smell inside the machine or creates bad bacteria. So you can leave the capsule there for a couple of days. Again, this centrifusion technology should be discussed to clients. When you're talking about the virtual machine, the first thing, what I used to do, I used to show them the capsule, tell them the barcode, what's the barcode made of, like the centrifusion, what is it made of, how it works inside the machine. And I used to also explain, before I used to do the coffee, that the capsule is made from recycled materials, which, you know, I showed them what the recycled program is, and then I continued with the coffee. Now let me show you the machine options. We have a couple of them in our Canadian Tires and trade locations, basically. So starting off with the first generations, we don't have these in our trade locations, but we used to have them before. The reason why they got discontinued, because they only make 4 sizes of coffees. And I want you guys to write it down, because it's going to be the same for the Plus Deluxe, which we have in our stores. So they only make espresso, double espresso, Grand Longo, and regular coffee. So it's espresso to regular coffee, the sizes. That's it. So if you were to do a carafe capsule inside the machine, it doesn't read the barcode. It won't know what to do. So basically, these machines also, they were the first ever virtuos to ever be invented, and they take a lot more space. I personally have the virtual flathead at home because the water container was the biggest when I was there, like a couple of years ago in our stores, and we are 4 to drink coffee in our house. That's why the biggest water container was a big advantage for us. But we don't have them in our Canadian Tires. The similar option would be the Plus Deluxe, which we have in our trade locations. So Plus Deluxe, specifically the model round head, is going to be available in our trade locations. So what are the advantages for this machine? Again, does 4 sizes of coffees, the same 4 you guys wrote down. The machine is more automatic. What do I mean by that? Some people who have a lot of difficulty, specifically mobility issues in their hands, they can't really twist their wrist to be able to open a machine. This model is the perfect option because, first of all, the machine has to be plugged on the wall to be able to open it. So even the demo machines that are not plugged, you won't be able to open it. And to open it, imagine this machine closed, just have to touch once and the machine opens automatically. To close, touch once and it closes automatically. So you don't have to twist the lever to be able to open the machine fully. And the water container is also mobile, so you can put it completely in the back or move it on the left side, like they did it here, depending on the sort of counter you have of your kitchen. Then we have the Virtuo Next models. These are the best sellers in Canada. The reason why, first of all, it's very compact. So the water cleaner is completely in the back, and the capsule cleaner is on the left side. You will have like a little hole where you can open with your finger. I didn't mention the water cleaner for the Virtual Plus Deluxe Roundhead. It'll be 1.2 liters for the water. Virtual Next water cleaner, it'll be 1.1 liters. And this machine does all 7 different sizes. So all of the virtual capsules fit in the Virtual Next. It does also have a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity. Doesn't mean you can make your coffee from your bed, not yet. But if you connect the machine with your Nespresso application, it'll give you maintenance notifications on your telephone. Meaning, let's say you need a descaling procedure in your machine, it'll give you notification. Or let's say the machine is having a problem specifically, it'll give you notification. And to give you more details on the maintenance procedure, all virtual and original machines need to be descaled each 6 months to 1 year. The descaling procedure. It's called the descaling procedure on the Nespresso side as well. So it's a product you can buy directly from Nespresso. It's around $10 and it does come in 2 liquid packets. They just have to fill up in the water container and it's gonna dilute with water, and it's gonna like pour inside the pipes of the machine to clean up any extra coffee grains that are stuck inside the machine. It's better you do each 6 months to really make sure everything is clean. And your capsules will taste at their best taste. All the aromas, it will not affect, especially if you do a lot of flavored coffees. So yeah, the Virtual Next and the Virtual Next Premium, to give you an option difference, this is the most standard Virtual Next we have. So we will have like different colors. Also, very recently we got the full white Virtual Next with a touch of gold on the machine. It's super gorgeous as a model. It's perfect for holiday seasons. And with that machine as well, you will have $35 of free coffee capsules. So it'll be like a credit, like a coupon, which either you can bring at an espresso boutique, get your capsules there, or do it delivery online with a QR code on the coupon. It's a great deal for this season, and we have an amazing, I guess, challenge that's coming on your way, specifically for that machine. And then the Virtual Next Premium model, the difference will be a little metal touch added on the machine. That's about it. It's aesthetic. So where you put your cup, it's going to be made with metal. And on top, where you open the machine, the lever is going to be made with metal. That's it. That's why it's more expensive to produce it. So it's $20 more. Same exact machine though. So it does all 7 different sizes. Everything is the same. The next deluxe, we won't have it in our Canadian Tires. But to give you a difference, it has a lot more metal surrounding the machine. Then to show you a couple more models, let me share the screen. Okay. So this model is called Virtual Pop Plus. Virtual Pop Plus is one of our newest machines. The advantage you're going to get, first of all, it's even more compacted than the Virtuo Next, but depending on the sort of compact you're looking for. What do I mean by that? Some clients used to tell me, oh, like I have a Virtuo Next machine, but every time I have to make a coffee, I have to bring the machine in front of my counter to be able to open the machine fully because sometimes it touches my cabinet counter. Right? So this model is going to be the Virtuo Pop Plus, is going to be the shorter version of Virtuo Next. So when you're opening the machine, it doesn't touch your cabinet. And the water container is on the left side of the machine. So it's not completely in the back. And the reason why we call it Virtuo Pop Plus is because of the pop of color you get in your area or your setting. So the colors, we have like 8 different colors at Nespresso, but we will have different colors like yellow mango, Pacific blue, white coconut, black licorice, etc. Or even a very recent one, a beige one. The water container for this one, it'll be 750 milliliters. And the capsule container, it'll be like a little hole once again here you can open with your finger. It is commercialized, so listen to me here. It's commercialized to do 5 different sizes on the box. But it can still take up to the 7 capsules. The reason why it's not commercialized to do all 7 is because the machine is very compact. If you were to do a carafe, you would have to hold the carafe underneath the machine till it's done because you don't have the space to put a full carafe underneath. Someone who's not going to do carafes every single day, this machine is perfect for them, but it does give them the opportunity to do carafe as well. And it's the most affordable machines. It's going to be $169.99, I think. The Virtuo Pop Plus Deluxe model. Give me a moment. So this is going to be the deluxe version of the Virtuo Pop Plus. The difference here, the water container will be 1.1 liters. So it does 4 regular coffee sizes. Compared to the Virtuo Pop Plus, it does 3 regular coffee sizes. Like in the water container space, that's what I meant. And you also have like a metal touch added on the machine. So where you put your cup, it's made with metal, and on top here, it's made with metal as well. Again, more expensive for Nespresso to produce it. That's why it's going to be a bit more expensive. Final machine, the Virtuo Latissima. So this machine is super special as a machine because we have a 3rd container added inside the machine. It's made for milk coffees. So the water container is 1.6 liters for this machine. The machine also, it looks very similar to a Virtuo Next. So on the left side, you will have, it's the exact same as a Virtuo Next, 7 different black coffee sizes, clicking this button. But you also have 3 extra buttons on the machine, which I want to name you guys one by one. What are the buttons? First button on top, it'll be hot frothed milk. Hot frothed milk. So let's say you do a black coffee and you would want a good frothed milk added on the cup. It's going to be that button you can click. The second button in between, it'll be a latte macchiato. The third one, it'll be a cappuccino. So hot frothed milk. Latte macchiato is perfect. You use a double espresso capsule or a grand lungo capsule. It's going to balance with the intensity of the milk perfectly. And the final button, cappuccino, it's suggested you use an espresso capsule. The milk container is going to be 750 milliliters. And it has a full rinsing system integrated inside the machine. So after each use of the milk container, you have to rinse the machine. You have no choice because if not, the milk will get stuck inside the pipes and it'll create a burning smell. It's not going to be good. Okay? So so you have this button here. You just have to like switch it on the right side and you have this milk, the rinsing system here. So it's just going to take water from the water container, insert it in the milk container pipes, and it'll come out with like hot water and milk residue. You don't forget to add a cup underneath, obviously. And a good advantage you will have with this machine, the milk frother, you can just remove it from the machine. Let's say throughout the whole day you're not going to use it like the milk frother, just insert it in the refrigerator, and then when you're ready to use it, take it out, click it on the back on the machine, click on the button you want, everything is done for you. So you don't have to wash the full milk container every single time. And something to keep in mind, this machine is $629.99. So it does give a complete different price point from all other machines we have. But when I used to explain to clients, I used to say it's only $629.99. And the client would be like, "Did you just say only?" And I'm like, yes, because other coffee machines, if you were to do a milk coffee, not only you have to know the perfect way to do so, but you're not going to get the consistency. Every time it's going to take the taste difference. You have a good 10 minutes every morning you have to use to make yourself a milk coffee. And it does a full mess. You have to clean up after you every single thing you use. So and that those machines cost $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 depending on the model you get. Compared to this, yes, it costs just $629.99. Okay. Yes, Navdeep.
I have a question. There was a name mentioned, DeLonghi. Why is that? Like, do we have a thing with them?
Good question. So I was going to explain it later on. On the Nespresso machines, you will have DeLonghi and Breville coffee names, coffee brand names. So DeLonghi and Breville, they only do our distribution process. That's it. That's why their names is also they're a huge brand. They're also very known and they have good products as well. The only thing they handle for us is the distribution. That means we create our machines, we do our like design, we do the production. But it's how some of the machines Breville handles it, some of the models DeLonghi handles it. Even like in the colors of certain models, we have some colors Breville, some colors DeLonghi. Then you will have a lot of clients asking you this too. All right. Do we have any questions about the machines? Are we all good with the arguments? Anything else you have to say to a client? Okay. And if you guys want, take a screenshot of this. I mean, it's a good grid to show you how much time it takes for the preheat of the machine, how much time it takes to turn off automatically, even though the machine is still plugged on the wall. How much size of copies it can do, connectivity if it has yes or no, etc. Can I continue? Okay. Sorry. And then we have the milk frother. This is our most basic frother, which is also some of the most known bestseller milk frothers in the world. It's called Arabuchino 3, and this milk frother has one button, but it can do 3 types of milk. And to give you a perspective, the machine is very compact, and it has a retro design, which is also nice looking on your kitchen counter if you were to leave it there. But usual cases, clients put it in their cabinets. So the machine here has one button. Let's say you click on the button once, the button starts, it turns red, and it starts frothing the milk while heating it. So for people who love hot cappuccinos, hot lattes, it'll not make your coffee cold. So it's gonna make it good hot froth milk. If you were to do an iced coffee, you would have to hold on the button till it's drinkable, till it's like blue, sorry, and it's just going to make your froth without heat. So it's going to be a cold frothed milk. And inside the machine, you have the frother, which is magnetic. So that part is easily removable as well for you to be able to wash it. But let's say you remove it, you add your milk, click on the hot button, it's just going to heat up your milk without frothing it. And the machine here used to cost $100, but now it got reduced to $80. So $79.99. And an advantage the client would get, there's bundle options. What is a bundle? It's a coffee machine that comes with a milk frother integrated inside the box. So if it's integrated, both of them together, the milk frother will be $70 integrated inside the price instead of 80. Super, super important to wash the milk frother by hand. So do not put it in the dishwasher. I did mention the milk frother for the Virtual Latissima. It's preferable you wash the milk frother by hand for the Virtual Latissima, but if you were to put it in the dishwasher, put it on the first floor only. And then a couple more things I want to add. Lori, are you here? Okay, so like I said before, Breville and DeLonghi differences I was going to mention here. Is everybody clear with that? The distribution part of it? Perfect. The warranty for all Nespresso machines will be 1 year directly with Nespresso.
I had to go to the bathroom.
Okay, no, I was going to give you a break anyways after this slide. So yeah, warranty will be 1 year. And for the Virtual Latissima, it'll be 2 years. There's a specific rule that we should follow. So the maximum number of machine sales are 5 per customer. So if a customer wishes to purchase more than 5 machines with you, there's a following procedure that must be followed. So I'll give you guys a couple of rules you have to do if a client is buying more than five machines. Starting off, you should provide the B2B department phone number to the client because they could get a better suitable business solution. So the phone number will be 1855 325 5783. So you have to first give that phone number. Second, because there's also a store limit per client in the Canadian Tire and Walmart, the store manager must be involved. So you have to let the manager know in that Canadian Tire or Walmart. And if the manager approves, you must, first of all, tell the client if there's a coffee credit applied to the purchase. So a coffee credit, including like a purchase, like a coupon, the client would get free capsules or something like that. It would only be applied to the first 5 machines. You must also notify your manager, including the match retail manager. And you yourself, you have to take the purpose of why the client is buying more than 5 machines. So it could be a small hotel, it could be clients, friends, family, gifts, etc. Okay. In each Nespresso machine, you will always have free capsules that come inside the box. So it's a good way for the client to try different flavors. So if they're buying the virtual machine, they will get 12 mixed capsules. If they're buying the original machine, they will get a box of 7. Mike, that's also called a windset. So one of your jobs will be to change the windset and keep the product as fresh as possible. That means if it's close to the expiry date, that should be changed. And you will also have like 2 little pamphlets with descriptions about the services, any extra things you would need to know about the machine inside. Do we have any questions till now? No? If there aren't any questions, I want to give you guys a little break. Let's all come back, please, I know the time is going to be different for everyone. Let's do 32 maximum. What am I saying? 32. 37 maximum. Okay? 37. Let's all be here. Thank you. All right, everyone. Let's all come back. Bilal, Rakesh, are you guys here? All right, perfect. Now let's continue with the services Nespresso offers to clients. Starting off, these are the 4 ways to get access to different capsules. So Nespresso capsules. Starting off with a boutique, the client can go in person, try capsules there, ask their questions, get the full experience, and buy capsules. Forget capsules comes always in box of 10. So let's say they don't like one flavor they bought online, they will have 9 other capsules at home and not use it at the end. So that's why the best option would be going to an espresso boutique and tasting, getting the full experience there. If not, there's also the application. So putting the application on your phone, I personally absolutely love this method because you don't even have to leave your house to get your capsules delivered to your home. And it's the easiest way to order. If you don't want to put the Nespresso application on your phone, you can do it through online, so nespresso.ca. And finally, customer service. So you call customer service at Nespresso, you ask all your questions. At the same time, of course, you can put your order. Yes, Mike.
How quick is the delivery?
So I'm coming back to that right now. So delivery is standard, but it comes the next day. So if you order before 4 o'clock in the afternoon, your capsules are delivered the next day. That's how easy it is. If you order after 4 o'clock in the afternoon, your capsules are delivered in 48 hours. So super, super easy to get access. And there's also tracking and traceability. So if you can't ever find your order, you can look it up online. One more thing I want to mention now before I take your question. Delivery, for you to get a free delivery with your order, you have to add a minimum of $75 of coffee to get a free delivery. If you order less than $75, you have to pay a fee of $8.95. Imagine if each client bought one capsule delivered to their house every single week, it wouldn't have been the best for the environment. So that's why they really want to put a limit to the order. And it's a better way as well for the client to not think of coffee every single week of their lives. Just once a month is enough. Yes, Nadeep.
So 4 p.m. is EST or like it's regular for everything? Because I'm in Vancouver.
Regular for everyone.
Okay.
There's also a pickup option. So let's say, sorry, let's say um you don't want to wait 24 hours. You want your capsules the day of. You put the order online. Instead of you're putting your address at the end of your order, you're gonna put the Nespresso Boutique. And it'll be ready in usually 2 to 4 hours. So you'll get back an email saying it's ready, you go and pick it up. It's already paid online, you just say your name and it's already ready. For any people who work outside of their home throughout the whole day, post office would be the best option for them because they don't want to risk sometimes leaving their coffee order in front of their porch if they're not home. So they just have to put the order at a post office that's nearest to their home and pick it up from there. And finally, curbside. This applies it applies for some of the Nespresso boutiques. Basically, when you drive up to the Nespresso boutique, you park. Instead of you going inside, the Nespresso coffee advisor comes outside with your order. For customer care, so all returns, it'll be 14 days with Nespresso. You can't obviously open the box and bring it after. Since the client is buying the machines with us in trade stores, the return policies will be with the trade stores. That means Canadian Tires or Walmart policies. The policies usually are 90 days for any exchanges or returns with Walmart and Canadian Tire. But they're super strict on that because once they see the machine has been damaged, used, the box has been used, like everything looks different, they won't take back that order or the machine. Unless sometimes the client has used the machine but it didn't work well, in that case you can do an exchange if you kept your receipt. Any extra machine assistance, general services, they call customer service, they will have everything answered there. And sometimes you can, like, they do FaceTime calls with clients or WhatsApp calls with clients. They're really, really good with the services. Like, every time I've heard a client calling customer service, they've been very, very happy with the service they got. The recycling program. So depending on the province you're at in Canada, you will get these bags delivered with your orders for free or given to you in person at an espresso boutique for free. So here in Quebec, we use the green bags. Every time the capsules are given to you in online, in person, they send the green bags. And then when the green bag is filled, basically the capsule container it gets filled. You take it, instead of you throwing it in a garbage, you throw it in the recycling bags. And then when the bag, you lock it, it's like a Ziploc, you remove the sticker to seal it completely, and then the bag completely, you leave it in the recycling bin. And then Nespresso take back that bag in the recycling facilities. They send it to Nespresso's recycling facilities where they recycle and decompose for the client. Same situation for the other bags, but the red bag, when it's filled, there's the pickup option. So it's going to be for the majority of Canada, the red bag. So the client, when the bag has been filled, they leave it outside of their porch with their next coffee order, and the Nespresso delivery person will take it back for them and they will handle it after for the client. There's also you bringing it back to an espresso boutique if you wish, if you're buying your capsules from an espresso boutique. And the black bag will be for Vancouver specifically. So when the bag is filled, then the client has to bring it to an espresso boutique. Everything is handled from there. Compared to other brands, just to give you an idea, the capsules, first of all, they're made with plastic. So there's going to be a lot of microplastics that'll enter your body while you're consuming coffee. After that, you, first of all, take the capsules with your 2 fingers. There's no capsule container. You open the capsule, you throw the coffee in the compost, and you recycle the plastic separately. Do you really think each client does that? I really don't think so. So it's a huge service we're offering to clients. Everything is done for the person. And honestly, being a citizen of the earth, you can't be ignorant because the world is already destroyed enough. So now let's continue with the sustainability topic, Amik. So what is a sustainable development? It's a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So like we discussed before, positive cup also includes in this. So that means 100% recycling capacity, 100% coffee sourced from the AAA program, 100% carbon neutral coffee, which you guys all wrote it down on your papers. This includes anything to make sure we keep the future generations to get the same coffee we consume today. And the B Corp certification as well. And to give a couple more information on this, so in a nutshell, B Corp is a sustainability certification label that meets the highest standards of performance, transparency, and accountability. And there's these 5 categories where B Corp always improves in. First of all, workers, there's governance, consumers, environment, and the communities. So there's so many criterias that B Corp does to make sure we improve us as a brand. Now, what are Nespresso capsules made out of? Who can tell me? Yes, Nadir?
I guess aluminium.
Exactly. Aluminum will be the material where it encompasses the capsule. What else? Isbilal?
Plastic.
So never plastic with our Nespresso capsules. Other brands, they use plastics and usually sometimes even recycled plastics. Only specifically for the B2B program capsules, we have a bit of plastic around the rim, but it's made of recycled plastic. But our capsules ourselves, like for clients, we will have most all aluminum. And then the obvious answer, yes, Riyazat?
Like a polymer, maybe.
So it's technically like not polymer, but it's a very thin layer that separates the coffee from the aluminum. So it makes sure that the aluminum doesn't touch the coffee directly. It's called the food grade lacquer. And Mike, finally,
Coffee.
coffee grind, exactly. So first of all, the aluminum itself. So it's really that's what's gonna create the shape of the capsule. The biggest 3 enemies of coffee are oxygen, light, and humidity. Once these 3 properties touch the coffee, it starts getting expired immediately. So aluminum is the perfect material because it makes sure that all exterior elements stay exterior. And from the moment that has been packaged till the moment it's going to be extracted, it stays fresh. So it's not going to touch some of these 3 factors. And the food grade lacquer, it's there like a very thin layer you can see in between the coffee and the aluminum to make sure that no aluminum can touch the coffee directly. So even during the extraction, there's no chance aluminum can go inside your coffee. So first capsule on top will be for the original capsule. The last one completely on the bottom will be for the virtual capsules. And the middle one would be for the professional capsules, which are the B2B program, which Bilal, you said there's a bit of plastic. Those will be the capsules where you will have a bit of plastic. Okay. And what do these products have in common? So aluminum, as you guys probably already know, it's fully recyclable. And you can retransform into many different objects, such as other capsules. So 80% of our original capsules are made of recycled aluminum, and 85% of our virtual capsules are made of using recycled aluminum. So it's the perfect material. They're also retransformed into different bicycles. These bicycles are sent to the farmers where they can transport around their villages using recycled aluminum. And these bicycles, if you ever want to buy one of these, it costs around $10,000, just to give you an idea. And like little objects such as Swiss knives or I don't know what they call that object in English, but like potato peelers, and even pens. Why do we choose aluminum? Let's say it all together. Aluminum is 100%
Sustainable.
recyclable, sustainable.
Recyclable.
Exactly. Not only once, but to infinity. So you can reuse the same aluminum over and over again. It won't change properties. And not only the aluminum is reused, but the coffee is actually used for composting purposes, biogas, and greenhousing. So let me show you a video to show you what happens in the 3 recycling facilities we have in Canada. Right. So as you see, there's 3 production centers that are located in Canada. All the capsules that are recycled, they're sent there. The coffee is separated from the aluminum. Aluminum is used to transform different objects, and the coffee is finally composted, usually given to Canadian farmers so they can reuse for their own compost. And I want to mention, I want to ask you guys, what can you do as an espresso coffee advisor to make sure recyclability continues and even evolves? Yes, Lori.
I would like tell the customer about it, like more in detail of like how it's very good for the environment and like why it's a beneficial for us in the world and everything like that, just so they have a better understanding, and hopefully that they will take that to heart and actually continue on with doing it.
Right. Informing them as much as you can. So like I said before you even start doing a tasting, show them the capsule, show them it's made of aluminum, show them how easy it is to recycle and how you should recycle as a client. The client will do it seeing how easy it is. They just have to throw it in a bag, and then there's a specific way depending on where you have to bring it or how you should recycle it. So yeah, very, very important to talk about this procedure. Again, it's including in the service. So it's something Nespresso is investing in to facilitate clients as much as they can. Rakesh, are you here? All right. In the meanwhile, let's continue with the sales techniques offered and how we should talk about it to clients as well. So the Nespresso boutiques, if you ever have been to an Nespresso boutique, we want to give the same experience in our stores, in our mini boutiques, which I call it. So if you've never been to an Espresso boutique yourself, I'd really suggest you, if you have a boutique near you, go visit, see how they introduce the brand. We want to give that same experience to the client. So starting off, the station has to be spotless, meaning in our kiosks we should have no dust even on the machines. The machine and the capsule drawer should be full, no gaps all over, no traces of coffee, no traces of water. When you're leaving the store, the machine needs to look like it's brand new, like it's perfect. No one has ever used that machine. And even the kiosk itself, like it has to be fully clean as you came in first, and even possibly cleaner. And current promotions displayed, including the price, product line, functionality. This is going to be something done by our marketing team, such as Mike. So it's really them. They're going to come throughout, let's say, the week. They're going to place new promotions, new machines, possibly any extra things they have to do. Your role as an espresso coffee advisor is to keep the same environment, same aesthetic as the marketing team placed it for you. Okay, so meaning if there's people that move around stuff, if there's something that spills, please clean it up after them or yourself. And the section kiosk has to be Nespresso products only. So being in a Canadian Tire, you will naturally have clients leaving random stuff sometimes all over your space. So give it back to a Canadian Tire employee. They can bring it back at the right place. So let me show you this video. I'm going to remove the sound so I can talk over it. So this is a capsule box. Like I said, near the capsule box, you will have the size and the intensity written down. So we should organize by that intensity and by that scale. So even in your first drawer, which you'll be using a lot of the time to show the clients the capsules, you should organize by the left side, the smallest and the lightest coffees. The more right you go, the more intense they get, and the more big the size gets of coffee. You will have virtual capsules from espresso to regular coffee sizes for tastings. You won't have any ristretto, alto, and carafe sizes. Either they're too small or they're too big. And original capsules, you wouldn't have Nespresso capsules. You will have Starbucks original capsules for tastings. So same thing here, how she's placing it, even though these capsules are, like, this video is pretty old, so even the kiosk itself, it's more renovated now, but it's to show you how you should organize in general cases. So, like, she put the espresso, double espresso here, and then she moved with the Grand Longo and regular coffees. You have the date of expiration behind the box. Once you open a new box of capsules, you should rip out this date of expiration from the box, like that little tab, and you slide it in the folder you have in your kiosk. You keep there till those 10 capsules have been finished, and then when you open a new box of that flavor, you will switch it up with the new date of expiration. It's really to make sure that if a client comes and tells you, hey, I've been sick because of your capsule, show me the date of expiration, then you have a proof to prove yourself, even though you wouldn't have any situations like that because capsules don't expire. Like you can still drink the coffee even after the expiry date. We don't give clients tastings of expired capsules, obviously. So here she's doing a protocol where that was the old one. You don't have to do that. So these are the original capsule boxes we won't have for tastings. We will have Starbucks original capsules. And this will be the sugar box she'll be showing now. Please check the date of expiration when you're opening a new sugar box too. You will have brown sugar and white sugar. What I'd suggest you to do, these takes a lot of space in your cabinets. So you will have in your Canadian Tire, in usual cases, an overstock of Nespresso products, another location in your store. So when you arrive the first day in your location, have a nice conversation with your manager around your area. Present yourself. I'm telling you, if you present yourself well, if you're good with them, they will help you a lot more. Okay, so be professional. That's what I mean to say. So present yourself. Say, I'm an espresso coffee advisor here. Nice to meet you. I wanted to ask you, where do you keep the extra stuff of Nespresso overstock in your location? Sometimes they ask them to come with you because it's in the overstock, let's say in the back store or somewhere where you're not allowed to be alone, or sometimes they let you go alone. But if you have a good connection with them, like it's like if you need any extra machines, let's say from the back store because you don't have any left in your station, they will be very nice about it and they will bring it as soon as possible, right? So as much as you're good with them, they're gonna help you in the return. And I'd say also very important to always separate the cabinets. One cabinet you put all coffee products, including milk, sugar, capsules, like cups, etc. All coffee products, tastings, and the other will be extra products such as trash, your personal stuff if you have like a winter jacket or something like your bag, or even like cleaning products, like any extra stuff you need. The work iPad code will be Nespresso 1. No capitals, no no spaces. Nespresso 1. And always lock the kiosk even though you're leaving for a minute. Clients are super curious. They're gonna want to see what's inside. They're gonna start opening. You will have your personal stuff there. With the work iPad will be there, and we don't want any situations like of stealing or something like that or theft, right? So please lock the drawer even though you're leaving for a minute, and always put the key back at its place of where you found it before you leave. If not, the next day, if there's another person going in, they're not going to be able to open the kiosk. So we're going to bother you to come back, bring the key. So very important to not forget to put the key. All right. And then let's continue with the sales approach. So one of the main points, of course, in a conversation will be the welcoming. So welcoming integrates a good body language, right? So smiling, having your shoulders back. Do not lean on your kiosk. Do not be on your phone. Like always prioritize the client first. You don't have your arms crossed in front of you like this waiting for people. You have your back straight and even your arms like on your sides. If you're busy with something else, leave that be. Clients are number one in priority for us. So that means if you're busy cleaning up something, if you're you're filling up your capsule drawer, you're cleaning up the machines, if a client comes for 1 second, they look at the machine, that means they might be interested. So start a conversation as soon as possible, because if they don't have a contact in usually about 5 seconds, they will leave. They will find excuses in their mind saying, right now I don't need a machine, I can wait for it more, I could have a better promotion. Like they're gonna find excuses to not buy a machine. So as soon as you see someone looking at the machines, create a contact with them. And then discovering the needs. This is the most important part of the conversation. I can't stress this enough. If you don't ask your open-ended questions, you will do more work, the client will be more overwhelmed, and it's not going to turn out well, the conversation. Okay, you're going to be ending up explaining all the machines, all the capsules, all the options, and it'll be too much for the person. So the best way to start a conversation, not only, hi, how are you? My name is Alik. I'm an Nespresso coffee advisor here. What brings you here today at Canadian Tire or Walmart? Or what coffee can I offer you? Or do you want to try an espresso coffee? You know, the tasting part of it, it'll be the main factor, the main key to the conversation. And then you continue conversation. So before you offer them a tasting, you would want to know what coffee they'd like the most. So you'd continue with questions. The best tip I can give you, it's the basic questions. The linear way to remember. Who, what, where, how, when. Okay? Who drinks coffee at your house? Is it only yourself or do you drink coffee with people every day? You would accommodate to all those people. So let's say they tell you, I drink espressos, my wife goes for regular coffees, then you would want to accommodate a machine for both people, especially if they tell you I'm looking at a machine for the house. But sometimes they tell you, oh no, it's a machine really for myself, my wife already has a machine of their own, then you would specifically focus on that person only. If they tell you we're 5 to drink coffee at one house, maybe a water container that's bigger would be useful for them. Or maybe they tell you they're a couple, they drink coffee together every single morning, then a virtual next or a virtual latissima would be a good option for them, even though the virtual pop plus would also be a good option because it does a carafe, but you'd have to hold the carafe underneath the machine till it's done, so maybe not the best suit if they're taking a carafe every single day. So it's really depending their priorities as well. And then what type of coffee do you usually go for? You go for espressos, longos, Colombian coffees, cappuccino, etc. How do you take your coffee? Is it with milk, sugar, iced coffees, milk coffees, like syrups, honey, maple syrup, etc.? When and where do you take your coffee? Let's say an example. They take their coffee every day at work. They might not have a good machine at home. That's why they take their coffee at work. Or maybe they take their coffee at work because it takes a lot of time to make a coffee at home. And they're a busy person. Or maybe they're taking their coffee on their way to work at a drive-through. You automatically know that costs a minimum of $2-3 per coffee. And I'm not even going to start with Starbucks coffee. It's insane how much people put a huge budget on only coffee every single week. So instead, you just hold off for a week or two for Starbucks coffees, buy an espresso machine, and you'll be saving so much money throughout time. And not only you're getting a good cup of coffee, but you're going to get so many options for not even $2. Not even $1.50. Okay? And then let's say they take 5 coffees a day. Again, maybe a bigger water container would be the best solution for them. And last question, what system do you already have at your house? So what machines do you already have at your house? Are we okay with these open-ended questions? Do we understand the importance of these open-ended questions? Yeah? Okay. Perfect. And then we have managing objections. So obviously the client will have arguments, they will have questions, and with your knowledge, with your experience, you'd always want to understand the client first. So you tell them, sir, ma'am, like let's say they tell you, oh, I don't like the fact that capsules are only foundable at Nespresso. I can't find Nespresso capsules in our clean tires. So you tell them, for example, I understand that you're thinking that way, and you're not the only one that thought this way. I've had so many people telling me the same thing. But something I can tell you is Nespresso's one of the main Nespresso values is giving the full experience to clients. So the reason why we only have our capsules at an Nespresso boutique is because we want to give the full experience for you to be able to try different capsules, have conversation with customer advisors. We give you suggestions what flavors which you're going to like the most, and then offer. But you don't have only the boutique options, you also have the online methods. So online delivery takes not even a day for it to be delivered, and you have to order a minimum of $75 to get a free delivery. And then the person might say, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Okay, thank you. Right? So yeah, so always understand them first. Tell them you've had other situations like that, and then give them the answer. Suggesting with confidence. Confidence makes a huge difference in a conversation. If you're not too sure, be honest about it. Tell them, sir, ma'am, I'm not too sure right now. I'll be looking it up for you. But don't tell them, you know what? I'm not too sure. You know what? Like, I think it was that, but I'm not too, like, it's the best way is for you to be confident to what you're saying. If you have any questions yourself, which is completely understandable, especially on your first weekend, search online, ask your manager, text me. You will have my email. But always find the answer you're looking for because those questions will come often. So know the best way you can answer them. The speech itself will be reviewed with your manager the first day, but obviously, like I mentioned, throughout the whole training today, you will have the main points such as sustainability. You have to mention the word quality, the origins of coffee, of where they come, and you know, like the discovery box, like the services that are offered. All these should be mentioned into each conversation. And the best tip I can give you today, you will have in your kiosk a folder, and in that folder you will have a page written down sales script. This page will have all the informations for you to get a 100%. And what do I mean by percentage? It's mystery shop. Because right now we are at mystery shop season. So what is a mystery shop? Is basically Nespresso hiring a client, coming and testing Match Retail to see if we're giving their message in the correct way. Okay? So they give you, well, you won't know who the client is. It's going to be a mystery client. So it's really a regular client for you. And they give a percentage at the end. If you reach a percentage of minimum of 85%, you win a gift card of $50. If you win more than 95%, you can win an espresso machine. Okay, so I promise you guys that sales script helps a lot, and especially on your first weekend, specifically this weekend, it's the best weekend you guys are starting because yes, holiday seasons are coming up, yes, Black Friday promotions are coming up, but this weekend specifically, we don't have a great promotion in store. It'll be mostly manager promotions you'll be using for sales. So use this time to make the most contacts, to practice and to perfect your sales script. And the coming weeks, it'll be a lot more busier. So you'll know exactly how to handle certain situations. Okay? And to close the sale, obviously explain the services we offer after sale. So how to order capsules, the maintenance, the warranty, the assistance, and like delivery, how it works, maximum 24 hours or 48 hours if you order before 4 o'clock or after 4 o'clock, all these little details. Confirm the color of the machine. So the color that's on the box as an image, it's what's not inside as a box. So look always at the sticker, a circle sticker that's going to be on top of your box. That's showing the real color. If there's no sale, thank the shopper and invite them to come back for another visit. So you will have clients who refuse, or you will have people telling you, well, you know what? Right now I'm going to think about it. I'm going to talk about it to my wife. The best way I could tell them, like specifically this time of the year, I'd usually say maybe you could do a surprise gift to them, right? Who doesn't like an espresso machine as a gift, specifically for holiday seasons? But let's say no, they tell you, you know what? I'm really sure, like I really want to talk about it. Then you tell them, thank you very much for coming, and I'll be here this week from this time to this time next week. So come back, and I'll be able to help you more. And offer an espresso brochure to all shoppers, as I showed you before. To do a recap, welcoming and greeting, understanding the needs and desires by opening the questions, the 5 questions. Each question, so each client you talk to, you should offer a minimum of 4 questions of those 5 I gave you. Minimum of 4. Proposing coffee moments. And then obviously offering the coffee that's best suitable for the person. Tasting is believing, right? So the coffee you offer them, that's what's going to make the sale, or that's what's going to break the sale. So if you don't offer them the coffee they're going to like, they're not going to buy a machine. That's why the open-ended questions are very important. So if they tell you, I really love a strong coffee, but you offer them the lightest coffee possible, obviously they're not going to buy a machine. Okay. And you would maybe do mistakes, maybe first weekend, like learn from those mistakes, learn what would have been better for that person. And then the next client that tells you the same thing, offer them the right capsule. And your managers will be also there with you the first day, and they will be contacting you after this training as well. So you can ask your questions to them too, and in person. And finally, closing and reinforcing brand loyalty. So it's all about the services. Do we feel comfortable with these steps? Okay. Let me stop the share screen. I want to come here to explain. So I'm going to explain what's the 3 platforms we will be using. Mike, in the meanwhile, you can stay. I don't mind you staying, but I don't want you to get confused with the platforms you will be having yourself. So if you want, you can make yourself a coffee. I don't mind you leaving. Anyways, we'll review later on. But tap, if you want, stay to see what we do as to order coffee. So basically, the importance of tap. For you to get a sale of your machine, so that means the bonus of your sale, there's 3 steps that should be done for you to get a sale. Okay? Is everybody following? Perfect. First step is the proof of sale. So that means what I'd suggest you take a picture of the serial number of the machine with your personal phone, because you'll also be registering that proof of sale on NDT later on. I'd say with your personal phone, because if you ever forgot to add a sale, you go home, tap, the work iPad will be at work. So you won't have access to that picture. Let's say if it's a Sunday, you won't have access to it till the next weekend. And you will probably lose the sale because we have to submit that report. Okay, so do it with your personal phone and then simply delete it after it got accepted. So first of all, proof of sale. Second, doing tap with the client. So registering the client on tap plus putting an order for the person of coffee. The third is the client accepting the registration of tap. paying for their coffee orders, at the same time creating a password for their Nespresso account. Are we okay with these three things? Okay. Now, let me show, yes, now deep.
Question. So after we help them to put an order of the coffee capsules, they have to same day accept and pay and have a password, and that's how we think we know that we have used it all.
What I'd
Okay.
suggest you is doing that, yes. Even though the client will have 48 hours later on if they go home too, from my experience, I've had so many clients who didn't receive their site, who didn't receive the email, and came back angry saying, like, come on, you told me it's gonna come to to my email. What happened? And I used to like do it step by step with them. Instead of getting that, just do it with them immediately, and then all will be fine. Once they go home, everything is done for the person already. Well, I'll show you guys how you do tap now. Okay, so tap should be used on the work iPad. So why is tap important? We use tap to create an Nespresso account for the clients who purchase new machines with our NCAs. NCA here means Nespresso Coffee Advisor, meaning your title. This facilitates future coffee orders, access to customer service, connecting their machines to the app to receive updates if it has the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity, and receiving notifications about new promotions, capsules, machines, and more from Nespresso. And finally, the warranty of 1 year or 2 years for the virtual Latissima will be applied immediately before even they leave the store. So they don't have to worry about anything once they complete tap. Okay. So the way you do tap, the way you ask the client, you propose, it'll change the whole game. Okay, because tap is included in your service. It's included in your role and your service to the client, plus the sale you'll be doing to them. So if you ask them, if you say, sir, ma'am, like, do you let me register the machine under your name, or can I do the registration? The client will say no. They will say no, right now I'm busy. They're gonna think it's an extra service you're offering them, and they're gonna think it's optional. But even though it is optional, there's a way to ask them. Okay, so what I used to say, thank you for choosing Nespresso. You first explain what are the advantages they're gonna get. So you say, now I'll register the machine under your name. Like, it's integrated into the conversation. I'm gonna do it now. So you take the machine from their hands, you switch it, you take the picture of the serial number, and you start doing tap immediately. And this gives you 1 year warranty with Nespresso automatically. What do I mean by that? Because once Nespresso, if they didn't do this tap, okay, let's say they didn't. Let's say throughout the 1 year, throughout their warranty, they call customer service because they have a difficulty with their machine. The first question customer service asks usually is, what's your account ID? Your Nespresso account ID. If they don't have an Nespresso account ID, they will not have a proof online saying when they bought the machine. So unless they create this Nespresso account for the person, this will be the perfect proof. If not, it'll be complicated to prove themselves. they bought it less than a year ago. Unless they kept a receipt, but the receipt is a physical paper. So it's not going to be on the phone that's going to be able to give a receipt paper. You know what I mean? So now I'll register the machine under your name. This gives you a 1-year warranty plus free delivery on the first order of 50 capsules instead of $75. So it's an advantage more. If instead of the client buying a big order of $75, they would have to pay a minimum of 50 capsules for them to get a free delivery for their first order. Plus, you'll also benefit from the coffee recommendations since you're the Nespresso Coffee Advisor, and a complete peace of mind knowing everything is set up with no extra steps at home. So you'll be able to propose the coffee that's perfect for the client. So if they told you I love strong intensities, you'd offer them strong intense coffees. Okay? Is everybody okay how to ask tap, how to do tap? And even though the other NCAs don't know this in the region, something I can tell you right now, keep it a secret maybe, but your sales per machine, it'll be with like an extra bonus in the month of November and December. So specifically for this time of the year, if you do tap, you complete the registration fully, you get an extra bonus too. And you would even be part of competitions where you can win stuff like gift cards, like extra stuff, like machines. Yeah. Okay, so now let me show you how to do tap. So first of all, you'd have to create, you have to add your email and then your password. You do login. Okay. Your login information will be sent by email. And then you will wait for this app to become all green. So all these checks will become green because the app has to sync. And then once it all become green, you will close. You click on new registration. And if any case throughout the registration with a client, you've had difficulties, there's going to be this little caution button you can click where you can submit an issue form with the application. This is the serial number you'll be taking a picture of with your personal phone as well. And it's also the same code you'll be registering here. If you don't take the picture the day of with the client before they leave with the machine, you won't be able to get access to that barcode in anywhere after. Like if you ask a Canadian Tire member later, what was the code? I forgot to take a picture. They won't be able to get access because this is really a code from Nespresso's serial number. They don't have access Canadian Tire this code. Okay, so please don't forget that picture. And then the serial number, you add it here. Either you can scan it with your phone, your iPad, sorry, your serial number, or write it physically. You here click continue. And then the next questions will be first name, last name, and email of customer. So when you register all these three information, there's two choices. If a client already has an Nespresso account, this is what you see. So it automatically finds an Nespresso account for the person. You don't have to register a full new account for the person. If they don't have an Nespresso account, this is what you would see. So you'd click here, create new account. And these are the information you would have to register. So title, first name, last name, postal code, city, address, country, language, and phone number. Super important step here. When you arrive to this page, show it to the customer. Show the iPad physically because a lot of the times autocorrect changes the information completely, and you wouldn't want the client not receiving the capsules, right? So show them the iPad, then they confirm the address, the email, all is written down, and then you continue. You click here, all channels. If the client refuses to get notifications from certain platforms, you can always turn off. You continue. You click here, assisted registration. Sorry, assisted coffee order. Wait, was there something? Oh yeah, if there's a specific gift Nespresso is giving, like a credit, a free coffee, sometimes, for example, if they're doing tap with us, we give them a free like cup, free mug, something like that. You can click that option for them to get the free gift too. And then you'd have to select a minimum of 5 boxes here for them to complete the registration. So minimum of 50 capsules. And let's say they tell you, I love strong, intense coffees. You'd offer them intensity, let's say 7 and more. Let's say they tell you a medium intensity. I'd say intensity 5, 6, 7. And then lighter would be lighter than 5. Or lighter than 6, I'd say. And then the client will have an SMS code, like a text message on their phone with a code that you should enter here to confirm their phone number. So you enter the code here, you verify code, and then you confirm all the information with them. So you tell them, these are the capsules I selected with you. You check here payment options, even though you're not going to take their credit cards yourself. Just click here, Visa, MasterCard, Amex. You click here, terms and conditions on. One last time, just in case, you confirm the consumer's registration information, and then you show them the total with 0 tax and 0 shipping cost as well. And you finalize the order by clicking finalize order. Okay. So the next step, this is the second step we completed. The final step, once the order is finalized, on the iPad, you will have a big QR code that will appear. You invite the customer to scan this QR code with their personal cell phone to complete the order. So we tell them, sir, ma'am, could you please remove your phone, scan this QR code to complete 2 other steps. And then if the client refuses or they don't have their phone with them, the same link will be sent to their email to complete your registration at home. They have 48 hours because the link expires in 48 hours. So tell them that, please. The consumer will need to create a password for their Nespresso account and add their credit card information to pay for their coffee order. Final step, when this registration is complete, the consumer will see, thank you for choosing Nespresso, confirming the registration is successful. That means their orders will be delivered in maximum 48 hours. Do we have any questions about TAP? We're all good? Yes, Navdeep.
In a situation which may not happen, where a customer does not have an email at all, like
Sadly,
then
we
we
can't
can't do this.
continue.
Okay.
No,
And
sadly.
in that case, we can only suggest them to buy their capsules from the boutique itself, right?
Exactly. Exactly. You refer them to the Nespresso boutique that's closest to them. And I even suggest all of you to look at the boutique that's closest to your store. So you'd even have to recommend them if ever they're looking for a coffee order. Okay. Okay, so then let me show you NDT. NDT is an espresso platform you'll be using to register, first of all, your sales, your stock that you need, any extra stock, and like submit a report, and of course see your schedule of what days you'll be working at. Again, same thing, Mike, you won't be using NDT yourself. Okay, so let me show you how to use the site. To first of all sign in, please write it down somewhere. To sign in, you have to add your email, and instead of writing .com at the end of your email, you write .demo. And then you add your password that you choose, you log in. Sorry. So you'd have to go in planning. My page is in French, yours will be in English. Okay. So this is where you see all your schedules of the days you work at. Please look at your schedules through NDT and never on Repsly. Because on Repsly, your managers change your schedules very last minute. So the correct hours you'll be working at will be on NDT. So the color of the report here represents the scale of the report. So what do I mean by that? Blue here like this, that means you're working that day. So it has been confirmed. Yellow, that means it was an overdue. You didn't do your report. So we never want to see the yellow color. That means before you left your shift, you haven't completed your job right. Okay? Before you leave your shift, it has to be a light blue color like this. That means you completed your report. All right? If it's navy, that means your report was refused from your manager. So you have to go back in that report, go in the comments section, see what's missing, what your manager left as a comment, and correct it with the correct information, send it back. Green, that means you did it well, good job. Red, that means that shift has been canceled. So you're not working that day. Okay? Now, let's say the 11th I would have went into work. It would have been this blue color. And I start my day by clicking on the schedule day. So I went in the store, I click on the day. We'll translate here, but the translation is not going to be the exact translation of what you'll have in person. So you create your demo report for the day. So you click here, create demo report. This is done in the morning. And there's 3 things you should mention here. An example of bad translation, this shouldn't be a moose tastings, it should be original tastings. Okay, so original tastings would be 0 since you didn't start tastings yet, right? It's your beginning of the day. Virtual tastings, same thing, 0. And the number of contacts will be 0 once again. So write these 3 down. These 3 are the information you should enter here. The rest you leave it as is. So original tastings, virtual tastings, and number of contacts. And then you do save. That's about it for the day, the beginning of the day. And then you start your shift, you do your sales, you have conversations, you start your closure, you finish off everything, and then you do NDT, and then you finalize with Repsly. So what do you do with NDT at the end of the day? You have under demo reports this number. Let me just make my screen a bit bigger. So you will have this yellow number. That will be the report you should submit at the end of each day. So you click here, demo report, and then you have to modify. So this will be the button edit. So you click on edit, and you remodify these 3 information with the correct information that you did. So original tastings, how many original capsules you use throughout the day? You write, let's say 5. Virtual capsules, how many virtual capsules you use throughout the day? So let's say you use 9. Number of contacts is the number of people you talked to. Oh my goodness. Okay. Number of contacts will be like not only high, but like conversations. So let's say a client had a question, you did a tasting, you did a sale, all those count as contacts. And then you do save. Okay. And then you enter the second button, enter a sale. This is where you enter all your sales. So let's say you sold a virtual machine, you write virtual. Let's say if it was a pop, you write pop, next, latissima, or plus deluxe. Let's say you sold a pop. You're not too sure what color to select, you click search. And you will have all the colors available at Nespresso. Just click the color that you sold, plus you add the bundle word if it was included with the milk frother. Okay, so let's say you sold the premium, I don't know, the Virtual Pop Plus Deluxe Matte Black Gold. So you'd have to search Matte Black Gold. If it was an original machine, you don't write original, you just write Pixie. And this will be the model you'll be selecting. Quantity, and listen to me carefully here. Quantity, you always leave one. Even though you sold 2 of the same model, you leave 1 here, and then you're gonna enter the total. So let's say before tax, you sold it at oh my goodness. It's been a long training for me. Okay. Total price will be the price. You have to add a comma. My voice is going. I'm feeling it. So don't add a dot, add a comma, because for some reason it doesn't work. Okay. And then you have to check these 2 checks if you registered the client on tap and you did a coffee order. In comments, you write, if you had a manager special deal, you'd write here, let's say the price that the manager deal that did to you. So let's say manager deal at $199.99. Let's say if it was sold because the box was damaged or something like that. And then when you record, you're gonna enter the second sale later on and the third sale later on. Each sale will be done separately. And then only on Sunday afternoons, you will enter a stock alert. You click enter a stock alert, and you enter any stocks you need for the next weekend. I repeat, only on Sunday afternoons. So let's say you need capsules, you need sugars, you need recycling bags, anything else you need will be added here. So let's say you need the Solelio capsule, then you click here. Let's say you need the maple pecan, you click, even though here it's written down machine, it's going to be the capsule that's going to come. If you need sugar, you write sugar, brown or white. And specifically for the cups, so 4 ounce, it doesn't come with any lids or sleeves because it's very small, you don't need them. The rest will come, but you'll have to order your sleeves separately. So cup lids come automatically. Here you enter no stock or a bit of stock left, depending on how much you have. And comments, you would have to write sleeves. Oops. What am I saying? And then you record. Okay. So every time you need a stock alert, every Sunday afternoon, you do this. And finally, you go back down here completely. In files, you do add files, and you would have to add all the pictures of the serial numbers you took throughout the day. An example here. So this is the code that we need. Usually the Virtual Pop Plus will be underneath the box. The rest will be on top. Finally, this little place where you see red here, the day of, you will have a blue button here to start a little survey. So you click here, start a survey. No, you will have like start, and then you would have to answer the first question. The first question will be first name and last name of manager. This is not your match retail manager. It will be the Canadian Tire or Walmart manager. So you go at the first cash where they do exchanges and returns. You say, hey, can I have someone to assign my Nespresso report? They've done it a million times, so they already know. They have to add their full name there. You do continue, save. You don't have to answer the rest of the questions. And then you go back up here, and the manager will sign it in this rectangle, their full name, and then you do save. Okay? Any questions?
What website is this again?
NDT, Nespresso demo tool. It'll be sent to you by your manager before the first day. Yeah, you will have an email after this training with any extra information you need. Like, for example, the uniform too. Okay. Any extra questions about NDT? We're all good? All right, and finally, let me show you Repsly. And Mike, I really need you to ignore this because I don't want you to mix with your system, with your platform, okay? How to use Repsly. Okay. So Repsy recording, this is where you will do your check-ins and your checkouts from your shifts. So it's basically the proof and where you get sales. Sorry, where you get paid. I apologize. So you have to put Repsy on your phone before your first shift. So do not forget to do this. You have to do it either from your App Store or your Google Play. And you have to open your location services on because it'll give you basically like when you do your check-in, it'll know exactly where you're at. That means it has to know that you're in the store doing your check-in. And then when you do your checkout, same thing. It's going to know throughout the day where you're at. Again, for accountability purposes. Like, it's just for proof that you're actually in that store. Okay? So you will have probably an email like this saying set your password, and then you click sign in with SSO to create your password. So you add your password and then you do sign in. All right, so super important here. There's many ways to do check-ins, okay? There's one specific way you guys should do. You go in schedule. In schedule. And when you go in schedule, you'll have the monthly calendar that will appear there. You click on the day you're working, and you will have a blue button check-in like that here. And then, to make sure you did it well, you will have a timer that will appear. This will be the timer you're working that day. Okay, so that now you did your check-in. You start your day, you complete everything, you do your sales, whatever. This is the last step you're going to finish your shift with, to do your checkout. Before you do your checkout, you have a report you have to submit once again. You see here, there's a little arrow I just circled. You guys see that on the screen? So you click on that little arrow, and you will have one report you have to submit. Some of the questions in that report will say how many sales you did. Take a picture of your kiosk before you leave your shift, and take a picture of your milk receipt. So what do I mean by the milk receipt? You need to buy milk before each beginning day of shift. So that means you can even do it before the night of, but the reason why I'm saying this, 75% of clients drink their coffee with milk. And sadly, Nespresso, they can't send the milk themselves because milk needs to be refrigerated. So that's why you buy the milk yourself and we reimburse you fully for it. And this is where you submit an expense of your milk receipt. Okay, so obviously keep the receipt. Don't forget, you can even take a picture of it if you think you're going to lose it, just to have a proof. And to give you an idea of what the milk procedure would look like, even though the details will be sent to you after this training, it should be 2% milk you buy, 500 milliliter cartons, preferably. And if you can't find, it could be also the 1 liter. The thin long ones, but never the 2 liters because it's too big, and never to 200 and something milliliters, it's too small. It can be any brand, and you can go lower at 1%, but never higher. 3% is too creamy. And each 2 hours of your shift, you need 1 container of milk, because milk expires being outside every 2 hours. That means if you work 4 hours, you need 2 containers of milk. If you work 5 hours, you need a 3rd container of milk. Okay? And you do switch. So first milk, you put it in your kiosk in the morning. The rest of the milks, you put it in the employee's room in the refrigerator. And every 2 hours, you do a switch. And your manager will go over it with you the first day. So you take a picture of the serial number here, you submit, and then finally, when you submit, you will have this red checkout button. So you click red checkout. It's going to say, are you sure you want to check out? You click on yes. And then finally, you will have this square button, which you click to stop the day completely in the main page. You click stop date, and it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to end your day? You click on end day. That's about it. Do we have any questions on Repsly? Was there anything that was not too clear? Are we all good? Okay. Perfect. So I have something I want to discuss, but Rakesh, you're an exception. So Rakesh, do you have any questions yourself before you leave?
No, sorry.
Everything is good for you? Okay, perfect. So if you don't have any questions, you're ready, you're free to go yourself. But I want to talk to the rest. Thank you for joining. Bye. Okay. Okay, so I'm sure the TA team already talked to you guys about the 32-hour procedure. Yes? Rian, yes. Lori? Yes. Bilal? It was the same for you? Okay, perfect. So basically, after the first 32 hours, you guys will get a bonus into the real pay you guys will be having, right? So something I want to tell you guys, you will be receiving an email from me, and after the 32 hours of shifts you've been completed, saying congratulations. I'm also going to CC HR and my managers to tell them that you guys completed the 32 hours, so you guys will be receiving the raise of your real amount you'll be getting paid. Okay, so is everybody clear with that? Did you guys have any questions about the procedure? Okay, perfect. So aside that, give me 1 second. So if you don't have any questions, thank you very much for joining the training and completing the training. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating and being here, taking notes, being engaged. If you guys have any questions, once again, I'll be sending you an email after this training. Give me 1 second, Riyazat. I'll be sending you an email after this training, including this Nespresso training that I gave you guys, including TAPS training, NDT, and Repsly. So if you guys ever want to go over that, please let me know. And you can also have my email for your reference later on as well. Just to let you know, I don't work on weekends, so I work on weekdays, meaning I will be answering throughout weekdays. So aside that, thank you very much for joining. I wish you guys all the best clients, all the best experiences with Nespresso. I'm telling you, have fun. It's really a fun job with Nespresso. I've done it for 4 years and a half. There was a reason why I did it. Clients love Nespresso. Like they tell me it's the best coffee they've ever tried. It's the most luxurious product. Plus, they're getting the full experience with you of tasting the product with you and seeing the machines, you offering them, being step by step with them. So use that to your advantage. And with the coming months too, November and December, you guys really joined at the perfect time in the brand. A lot of fun stuff are coming up, so always keep notifications on your WhatsApp group, where your managers will be sending you messages with any new stuff you need to know about your week. So thank you very much, everyone. And you guys are free to go. If you guys don't have any questions, you can go. If not, stay here. I can respond. Mike, stay here as well yourself. I'll be showing you Repsly.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much,
Have a
Ali.
great day.
Thank
Of course.
you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yes, Riyazat.
So I think I already answered it, but you were gonna send the recording through email, I believe, right?
So not the recording, no. It'll be the PowerPoint presentation, and
Okay,
it'll be also the TAP, NDT, and Repsly like PowerPoints, like a PDF version of it.
I see. Would it be possible to send the recording to me if by any chance?
I'll have to confirm with my manager if that's
Yeah,
okay
for
with you.
sure, because I just wanted to like review and stuff, you know?
I understand, yeah.
But totally
I'll
fine if it's not possible.
okay. I'll send you if they let me. If not, if you don't receive anything from me, that means it was probably a no.
Got you. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Reset. Have a good day. All right, let me stop the recording here.